What is button?
What is button? Baby, don't push me.
Don't push me
Don't button.
no more.
Bow, bow,
Yeah.
bow, 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 bow. Yep.
No more than X amount of settings, right?
I know, I had to time myself.
Oh, it's fucking.
You gotta love this era of humor. So dumb. Copyright lawyers, get here. What you gonna do when they come for you within 30 seconds?
We all know that
Bad
our voices are
boys.
fucking perfect and the algorithm will pick it up in an instant.
Yep, that's what we've been called before. Pitch perfect. Yep.
Mhm.
Oh dear. Oh, good. How goes the audio? They got it yet?
Let's find out.
I've actually not seen you go online and
Sounding
switch
okay
it for
thus
some
far?
reason. There you are, I see you now.
I am here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Right, yes.
Hello. Hey, yatta, and other such things. Excellent. So, welcome to the Fragments of Eternity. That Starfinder game we play. It's session 101. It's 101.
Juan.
It is the 6th of September. Nice. 2021. Here are the players.
Good evening. I'm Colin. I will be playing Lyco Quint, your sneaky, spooky space cop, coast to coast. And 101 reminds me of a certain Disney movie, Cruella.
Yep.
Anyway,
Cruella de Vil. She doesn't scare you. No
So-
other thing will.
Okay, that's your 30
Hello.
seconds, sorry. Done.
I'm Nico. And I'm playing Zora, the best captain. Also Cruella de Vil.
Sure.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Alex,
Hi,
and I'll be
Alex.
attempting to not get us copyright struck.
Excellent.
I'll be also playing Weird, the Android Mechanic.
Perfect.
what about copyright stricken?
Yeah.
I think we're all copyright stricken as a society.
Okay. That's a thing. There may or may not be a zig, I guess. It's Schrodinger's zig again. Which is fine. It's like a second state, I guess. I suppose it's a clever physics joke. About the superposition of fictional rat characters. So, what do you remember from last time?
Ganked by Matva.
Well, you might have been.
Yeah.
I remember going to dinner with the dragon,
Mhm.
and then possibly, well, not possibly, definitely, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, excuse me, and then arranging a meeting with a whatever we agreed she was again. Thing from the moon of Thing.
Do you need a reminder of any of those terminologies, or you could just have
Emo and Arrakis, nonetheless, who is some sort of thing.
Yeah.
She's definitely that.
Yeah. It's the Hallis moon. Hallis. And she may or may not be a halogen. Yes. Maybe. Who knows?
Erogen.
Is that like Greek?
No.
Because Hellas. It was a good joke, okay?
Yeah, sure. So, anything else worthy of note? Or was that it?
They tried to get. Was it last session that you, that being Alex, tried to talk your way into the shields or whatever, or was it the one before?
That was 2 sessions ago, that one.
Oh my
Sessions
god!
ago, yeah. Last session I think was very much you, and then we got ganked by Matva.
Yeah. Listen,
If I remember right.
time is a flat triangle.
It's a fucking round triangle, I'll have you know.
Wow.
Stupid broken triangle.
There's our session title, Stupid Broken Triangle. Perfect.
I have opinions about time.
Yeah.
Broadly speaking, I'm against it.
We're all against it, I suppose.
I'm in favour of that period of time between about 1996 and about 2009.
Anything you want to add, Alex?
I've added everything I have of value.
Okay. Noted.
If he's got as a session title, man, it's fine.
Yep. Oh dear. Okay, so
Stupid broke triangle.
I guess we open on the bridge of the final hour.
Ah. Was a word said? Or was she just strangling fucking thingy to death?
You definitely said something.
Nico, it's been 4 million years since I ran that session. I don't know what she said. Like,
Fucking. I can't remember exactly what happened. I walked in
so
and
you walked in. There was like a big swirly portal thing on the bridge. Some Vesk soldiers. Remember, you were grabbed by some Vesk soldiers as well. And then
I think there was some line about nice to see you.
Matva was standing there. There was probably something akin to that. Yeah, she was standing there holding Alice by the neck. Not like off the ground or anything like that, but definitely in a "is this person has been rendered," air quote, helpless, kind of pose.
It's funny, I definitely did imagine like lifted off the ground.
Weird. I have also weirded that I assumed that, I guess, by describing that wasn't what was the case.
Yeah,
Weird.
The fact that specified suggests that it would be assumed. And it was, so there you go.
And here we are. So yeah, and I guess they'll just say, what we just decide that their dialogue was then. I guess we can just decide that Matva says, "You don't
What's
look
all this
happy
then?
you don't look happy to see me."
I mean, they are not like happy to see her.
Probably look a bit disgruntled that you've been manhandled or Vesk handled, I guess.
I mean, ocular eye roll.
Yep, they scream.
You could have announced yourself.
She did, kinda, did she?
Looks around.
Yeah.
Like, what would you call this?
I mean, I can understand, like, having to restrain me, but can you put my first officer down? It's kind of doesn't look comfortable.
Alice gives you like a thumbs up. From under the big Vesk arm. Matva just like lets her go, and then like waves her hand, and the two people holding you let you go. Dismiss your crew. We need to talk.
I would just say it's alright, Alice. I couldn't remember her name there for a second, man.
Wow!
My brain is fried.
It's in session 1.
I know, man. I know. Like, I was just really like, what's your name again? I was just like fucking really racking my brain for like about 5 seconds until it actually came to my mind. It was weird. But yeah, I'll just get a nod, but it's fine, Alice. Like, yeah. In fact, that's probably that's probably not obvious enough for Alice, right? That's probably, yeah. You can leave us, Alice. It'll be all right.
It walks past you and gives you like a wink, and leaves.
She set up a bomb. She's learned a lot from weird.
Not just weird. Think of every strategy any use have ever come up with to Alice.
Hey, I have never set up a bomb.
I am the bomb, okay, right.
And then like Matava will then dismiss her people that also like, I guess head out through the ship. It's just the two of you alone now on the bridge. The swirly portal's gone now. We can't afford that effect the whole episode.
Right, that's fair enough. That's fair enough, man. I mean, that's her one battle round over, actually, right? Like, fucking...
Like she actually had to hold on to Alice.
She's got the same problems as I've got.
She had to hold on to Alice so that she could have that open.
That's what she was doing. She was keeping the combat going.
That's the problem when you're the same class as your boss. Yeah.
I'm seeing your game in the system, man. I see that shit. I'm going to take a leaf of your book. Oh, fucking hell, that's amazing.
Yeah, posture-wise,
composure.
she seems to like not be as imposing, like posture-wise now. As soon as like the room's cleared.
Go like good in front of your fucking men or some bollocks like that. I would unvesquely offer her a seat.
She looks around.
You know, just like put the hand out towards a seat as I go and sit in a seat.
Yeah, I think like she'll go and she'll lean against one of the consoles that's next to the seat that you suggested. Right?
Yeah,
She'll
it's
want-
fucking very vestly. That's what I would do like,
Yeah.
in this situation.
She doesn't actually sit down. She'll lean. And she looks at you and she says, "So you got my message then?"
Yeah, I guess you got mine as well.
Kind of chuckles to herself and she goes, "Yes. Quite difficult to arrange off-the-book meetings currently."
Apparently so. Considered you're now like branded as enemy of the I wouldn't say state, but
The Viscarium's
No,
fine, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I would just
yeah.
say
yeah, just the enemy of the Viscarium.
she kind of like scoffs at that. And just shakes her head slowly, like her arms folded, and just says, "And what is it you believe?"
I believe not to believe everything I'm told, I guess. I mean, I can't deny that the thought didn't cross my mind that you were part of that debacle on, what's the name of that ship again?
The Kivalari.
Kivalari.
Kivalari, yeah.
Like that line. Kivalari.
Line!
Yep.
It's episode 1 of season fucking 6. I need a refresher.
Lifts his lizard mask, wipes sweat off brow.
We'll ADR it in later, it's fine.
And your claws. We'll CG them in later too.
Cool.
So yeah. So you mentioned the Kivalari.
Yeah, I says I'm not gonna lie, I can't. The thought did cross my mind that you were part of that, but yeah.
What makes you think I'm not?
I don't know. It seems too perfect, but maybe it's perfect because it's true.
She just laughs at that. She goes, "I can't tell if you're trying to distract me with compliments or insult me without me noticing." She just laughs.
Probably neither. I'm quite serious.
And then she says, "You have grown in rank since we last met, quite significantly."
Apparently so. I'm just taking a page for your book, I guess.
She raises an ocular ridge at that.
Keep your enemies close.
She kind of nods to that. And then the camera does a nice piece of a cinematography where it shows just how close you are both standing. And then it cuts back to a more close intimate shot. And she says, "You're the one that's been tasked to bring me in."
Seemingly. But
Why so evasive, Nico?
It's his natural state.
I'm being like, it's more sarcastic than I'm being,
Yeah, like
it's
like
more-
Zora doesn't take that job so seriously as the vibe I got from it. Like, yeah, I'm apparently meant to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more to the job, more to actually find out the truth on the matter. I do have some stock in this myself.
Such as?
Friend of a friend got fucked by it, and I want to know what happened.
You realise this system's at war, right?
I mean, everywhere's at war at the moment.
She laughs and just nods. Almost like that's a pleasant thing to hear.
War all the way down.
Yeah, and then she nods at that and she goes, then what are the casualties of war to you?
Good question.
Right?
Getting a bit of stuttering in the stream, by the way. Just a heads up.
No problemo.
Quite frankly, I'm kind of fed up with the whole war business. I just want it to be done. But, I mean, me at this moment ain't going to stop the war. So, might as well do other things while we wait.
It's like, thinks that over a little and says, and what do you intend to report?
Entirely depends on what happens here.
The big grin appears up her face, big toothy grin. And she goes, and what exactly do you think's going to happen here?
I don't know. Are you an enemy to the Viscarium?
Who's
Is
Viscarium?
all of what
Is what she
What
replies.
is all of,
Yeah.
what was her name again? What the
The Imperatrix?
Empress, the
The
Imperatrix.
Imperatrix! Yeah.
Not Demigeshi's Viscarium. I don't think anybody wants that. I mean,
I can think of one person who would want that. She nods. He seems to have made many allies in this system.
I'm still not entirely sure I want to even let him live still at this point. I'm still on the fence about that, but I mean, that's also kind of why I'm here. I mean, looking for you.
There goes the mission I assigned you.
What was the mission she assigned me again? That's fucking eons ago.
It was a while ago, yeah.
I was fucking. Oh yeah, it was to fucking find out the info and Demigesh and fucking maybe pretty much kill him, right? It was like a load to take about, right?
Yeah, it was if he happened to die as part of that, it wouldn't really upset her. Yeah.
I mean, that was I'm kind of in the same point of that mission as what I'm at in Dimagesh's mission. To be honest with you,
She gives you a look with her eyes, and she
still
smirks.
deciding who I should trust and who I shouldn't.
She smirks and she goes, "Perhaps you wish it to be your Viscarium."
Not quite. Quite the opposite, actually. I would rather be done with this. I retired for a reason.
I just nod slowly, as if, yeah, sure. You know, you can take the Vesk out of the Viscarium, but you can't take the Viscarium out of the Vesk. Yeah.
The Viscarium keeps coming to me, okay?
And she says, so you have nothing to report then regarding your assigned mission?
I mean, what would you like to know?
Just laughs. She says, you have been out of the service, it seems, for too long. This is your place to tell. I don't ask, I have assigned you a mission that you accepted. You were to gather intelligence that would prove useful. Are you saying that you have failed in that task?
I mean, at the moment, you don't hold any rank over me or anything, Matva, besides your own men.
So that's how it is.
Can't we just speak as friends?
She like her hands unfold and she leans on the console. Probably hits a button that beeps and she just looks at it and then just looks back at you and then just says, "So, as friends then." Just stares at you. Kind of like almost like a shrug with her open arms. Just looks back at you.
Right, what exactly did she say there? Because I got distracted by that. I got everything else, I just never heard the words.
So she was leaning on the console, right? She unfolds her arms, leans on the console, ends up hitting a button by accident because she's obviously like leaning on a console that isn't necessarily fit. She looks at that, dismisses it, looks at you, and then says, "Well, as friends then," as she kind of shrugs with her arms.
I would nod, as you do, as Zora. So, minus the rank malarkey, what would you like to know?
Why didn't you just tell her what we know about him?
I don't really know specifically like what I could tell her or what she already knows.
Tell her a lot.
Like,
Why don't you just have a wee player agency moment then, right? Confer with your team, right? Let me know when you're back in the scene. But yeah, use your fellow crew members here.
I mean, what would I tell her? Like,
So,
I mean, I'm
right.
happy to just tell her it, right? I don't really care about what I tell her. I just don't really know exactly
She
what to
wants
say
to
that she
know
probably
about
not to know.
Demogesh, and she clearly wants him out of the way, and clearly he wants her out of the way. So anything relevant to his current situation, of which you know a fair amount, so we know he's arranged alliances with certain factions of the Bone Sages, and sort of by proxy, the Corpse Fleet. We know he's ensconced in a capital ship. That he's clearly got some goings on over by Akaton.
Traxxas?
No,
Octron.
yes. Triaxis. So like, we have a good idea that like he is very well ensconced. He's not currently in a particularly vulnerable position. He definitely looks like he's posed to make his move. And he's definitely gathered his forces in a very visible way, i.e., he's brought the big fuck off, look at me shit. Right?
I've got a good idea.
He's gearing up to
make
make his
now.
move. That's what I would say. Like he's.
Give me 2 seconds. I need to go speak to my dad because he's shouting. Be right back.
Godspeed.
Yeah. I guess sometimes it is like information overload. Sometimes we're like, I know a lot, but what's valuable in that lot that I know? Yeah.
I definitely think there's like there is a lot that we know that would be relevant. Like, it's just
Oh, definitely. Like you know quite a lot. Like just in general, you're probably some of the more informed people of the system at the moment, which is good. Oh dear.
Just make her way through life's information process.
It's good shouting. Food.
Good.
Food has been delivered. But yes, hello, I'm back.
I mean, that's what comes to mind for me is like you could definitely give her an idea. He looks like he's preparing to make his move. He's maneuvered the Corpse Fleet to sort of hold off the swarm for him, to free up his forces. He's brought in his big ship. He's as she'll know, he's openly declared her a traitor. Clearly, he's making his move. But you also know that maybe his little plan with the Bone Stages isn't going to work out quite as he'd hoped, because Tictalanus is no longer calling the shots.
Yep.
You also know who now is. That could be relevant.
Okay.
I mean, you also know that there is an assassin en route for the head of Aspis. That might be relevant if she's somehow involved with him. But what about you, Alex? Can you think of anything that I'm missing?
Could insert some lines.
Good lie.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Don't know
such as to
how
until
it
what
would
end? Yeah, I was gonna say such
Yeah.
as until what end?
And remember, it's me telling the lies, man.
Yes, the charisma primarily of the group. You're right.
I actually, if I may, I just had one other thought. And forgive me if this comes across as metagamey,
It's okay, we'll work on it.
but we
let's
don't
see.
actually know. We don't actually know that this is. But you could mention that you've taken another Vescan board from his ship.
As a true right, I could actually say that you could interrogate her or some shit. Now, if I would have geared that choice, right, I would have let her interrogate one of my crew, so that's got to be a thing, right? I would do that.
It's the Madvin wipes sweat off her.
That would be better game saying that, like, if I said interrogate or whatever, right? But yeah, I could passively mention her, right? And I probably would have if I actually remembered that she existed. Thanks for reminding me she existed.
Wow. Poor Madvin.
I forgot about that dirty wee traitor that probably led Matva straight to his.
That badass xenobotanist. Yeah. Right. What's the
Maybe.
plan?
I don't know who she's with yet. Demagesh or Matva. Probably Matva, considering Matva just teleported right into my fucking cockpit.
There's a distinct possibility she is just one of Matva's people. But worth mentioning just in case.
Yeah, right. I've got what I'll say then. I'm cool. What I'll say.
Okay.
So,
right, so back in the scene.
back in the scene. Well, I mean, it definitely looks like Demagesh is pretty much set up to do whatever it is he wants to do. According to, well, to my eyes, it looks like he just wants to do a glorious charge into the Librian. Unfortunately for him, his little plan with the Bone Sages isn't exactly going to go well as planned. But
She chuckles at that, and what was his plan with the Bone Sages? What have you worked out there?
I do believe that he was planning on using the Bone Sages as part of the push on the Librian. Probably gonna just let them die. That's what I took for it.
They're lucky enough to die twice. She shrugs dismissively.
But unfortunately, a contact of ours kind of kicked out his Bone Sage. What's the word?
Ally, liaison.
Ally, thank you. Ally, right, that'll do. Right, liaison, I guess is a better word for it.
AFF. Yeah.
His Bone Sage liaison out of power, so. And yeah, the Bone Fleet has now been repositioned to fight the Swarm.
We had wondered why the Corpse Fleet had been tasked to relieve Vesk soldiers. Interesting.
And you probably already know this, but he's got the power of the, what's it called again? Big ship.
Oh, it's the... Let's see which one it is. I think it's the Merciless Blade. It is.
Is that not his?
No, that's the big one. The Merciless Blade's the big one. And it's the Conqueror of Worlds is his...
Yeah. Yeah. Right, yeah, Merciless Blade. Yeah, he's also got the Merciless Blade under tow for his push now.
I'm sure the Imperatrix is very pleased by the amount of resources tasked to this system alone. She says
Considering we're not even at war.
She kind of nods to that as if like she looks at you with like eyes that tell you she is not sure. Like, and she says, It seems like we're on that knife edge.
So, yeah, and we've also got one of the personnel for the Mercenaries played one of the. Was she a lead scientist? A lead
Yeah, like
researcher?
she was put in charge of these other 16 people, but she doesn't have a. Remember, she's like untitled.
Yeah, yeah.
But she was put in charge of the others, probably because she is untitled. That's probably why she was put in charge of like the 8 scientists and 8 mystics that were the experts. It's kind of like the babysitter, I guess.
We've also got the researchers minder on board. I just like the idea that they've always got a minder for the researchers.
Yeah.
There's always got to be a babysitter for the researchers in case they start shooting each other.
It's like, any questions, come to me. Any complaints, go to her. Like, yep. And she nods. Just kind of like.
Although I prefer that if you want to speak to her, that I be present. I wouldn't like you manhandle any of my crew.
Just smirks. Are you implying that this Vesk would not be able to handle themselves?
Well, I mean, it's my responsibility, right?
So it seems are a lot of things in the current climate.
Apparently.
She just chuckles at that, right? Just, I'm not here to interrogate your crew, Vesk or otherwise. I'm here to talk to a friend, it seems.
Apparently. The word's got to be the word of the day. So, I mean, you still didn't really answer my question about the Kivalari. As friends.
Just smirks. Just
I've showed you where I've stood.
The Kivalari was an unfortunate incident that was not part of any plan I had. Can you say the same for Demogesh?
What does that mean? I mean, in context, my brain's too dumb.
So what do you mean by that? Like, do you just not get what she meant, or?
I just don't get what she meant. I mean, I guess she means like me going in with Demogesh isn't an accident sort of idea. Whereas what happened to the Kivalari was.
Well, she said, the Kivalari was not part of any plan she had. But can you say the same for Demogesh? Is what she said.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's such a roundabout way of saying that she's no fucking done it.
But she's also sort of implying that it could be maybe sabotage on his part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
Is the what were we even calling it? A molecule? It's fucking like
the bioweapon. You can just call it a bioweapon if you want.
Bioweapon, yeah, the bioweapon. I was going like in fucking
the J.J. Abrams plot device. The proton molecule. Yes.
Yeah. So, are you saying that the molecule was at least a part of your, well, from you, but what happened wasn't planned?
Just nods once.
Okay. Two seconds, sorry, be back.
Dun dun dun. Also, keep in mind, Alex, you are on the ship. You still have like full agency to get up to stuff on the ship as well.
I'm back.
Like ambushing them.
Just setting bombs everywhere.
Just General Grievous in, man.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Skitter in, yeah. But yeah, so she does that. What's your response?
Okay. Oh, for God's sakes, 2 seconds, man. Be right back.
What sort of bomb would be most appropriate?
Gun bomb.
a subtle one, I guess.
That's a speciality.
Maybe like one that's, I don't know, like an aesthetic bomb, maybe?
It's a disaster. I'm back, by the way.
I know, I got you
Good one.
back. Yep.
I didn't-
Oh,
Wow,
wait. Well, I'm waiting on your response. Yeah.
Right, confirmed then. Right, so...
Yeah, so you did nod once to your question if she had anything to do with that. Yes.
Okay. If I guess what I'm getting is we're transporting or something, but then something happened and the virus go out. Or the thing go out.
Dunno.
The weapon.
You could ask her.
So we like transporting it and something mysterious happened, I would say, alluding to sabotage.
Now looks around the room and then looks back at you and says, "This very well could be the last conversation we have as friends. You do realise this?"
Yeah, I mean,
Just nods to that. Yeah, it's like, as long as you're aware. And she says,
I guess what I'm getting at is what was the purpose of the worm? What were you actually planning on using it for?
to destroy the Mogesh.
But it doesn't affect Vesk
Precisely.
unless you try to like tarnish his name by sacrificing others.
Why would I risk a single innocent Vesk life to remove that despot?
See, that's where it doesn't sit right with me.
And she just looks at you and she says, "We paid for the weapon to be developed, to drive a wedge between the Vesk and everyone else of the Pact Worlds."
What is the actual purpose of conquering the Pack Worlds at this point?
Shakes her head, like, why would I want to?
Like,
That's not
but
my
why
goal
keep
here.
on?
That's his goal here.
But in the ploy would have got out eventually to the Pact Worlds. It would have just started another war between the Pact Worlds and the Viscarium eventually. Granted, it wouldn't be much of a fight at this point.
She laughs and she says, "I think you underestimate the Imperatrix's desires for this system. This system still poses a great threat to the Viscarium, but currently that threat is tasked protecting the Viscarium from the Swarm, another threat to the Viscarium. The molecule no longer is required. The Mogesh no longer has these Bone Sage allies, nor the corpse fleet at his disposal. They're busy keeping Vesk lives safe. The Pact World system, well, the biggest threat being the Bone Sages, they are in disarray currently."
Well, if your main problem is you want to kill Dimogesh, I mean, I'm fairly sure he's probably just going to go do that to himself if he charges down Hourglass. I think that you're all highly underestimating him.
Shakes her head. She goes, "I think you think so much of him that you may be blinded by the fact that there's a reason he is still the commander. He leads from the back."
Yes, but I mean, what he's charging down isn't normal.
Isn't normal. That's an interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's fine. Doesn't matter.
Like that's me saying that in regards to fighting bows, sages, and
Oh
shit
no,
like
like
that.
yeah,
as well,
even
right?
by the stance of the
Like-
universe, it's not normal.
Yeah.
But it's just it's yeah, it's
It's
It's-
glorious. Yeah. Yeah.
Like it took down. It is basically pacified this entire system in a moment in what we failed to do. Like, I don't think it's possible for him to get out alive if he even attempts it.
She laughs. She says, "It would be dangerous to underestimate his survival instincts.
Well, I would rather that he didn't take our flagship into battle and get it destroyed. I mean,
Now
that would be
perhaps
nice.
you should take your crew and train your sights on his overinflated head.
I mean, it's been the plan.
She doesn't laugh at that, she just still kind of stares.
Can I interject 1 second to ask something? While I was away, did you mention what's her name?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
And did
She
she send
basically has no interest in interrogating my crew, essentially. Or speaking to the crew, essentially. It's pretty much waved off.
Interesting.
Yeah, she has no interest in interrogating his crew, yeah. That's what she
Yeah.
said, pretty much. Mm-hmm.
Essentially waved off.
Do we take that as an indication that
it's definitely an eyebrow raiser, but
Yeah.
I'm a paranoid idiot sweating that Wisney go speak to her would have probably raised suspicion for me.
so there's a distinct, I think, chance that she is one of Matfa's people?
Yeah.
That or the idea of telling one of Demogesh's people that Matva's on board would be terrible.
Yeah, both of those, but you could equally just kill her if that's the case,
true.
you know.
But then that might also raise suspicion, right?
True.
Zig, do you want to do your intro?
Hi there, I'm Callum, and I'll be playing Zig, the mystical space rat from the sun.
Hello.
Which sun?
Welcome.
Hello.
All
Welcome.
of them.
So, anyway, back in the scene. So,
Back in the street.
Jig, you're on a spaceship, I believe. The final hour still, and you're wherever you were that's in the ship. Because I don't think you were on the bridge. Because that's where
Elsewhere.
Zora's on the bridge talking to Matva currently.
Yes.
Well, not in Mortal Kombat.
No, yeah. So,
Yeah.
So Matva.
I managed to catch something about doing something as friends, and that managed before my mobile phone signal crapped out.
Yeah,
while I
noticed you
needed to
popped
speak.
into the Twitch chat for a brief moment.
I did that on the drive home just to try and catch up.
So
Didn't work as well as I hoped.
They're having a friendly chat.
Excellent.
As friends.
As friends.
As friends.
So yeah, she's saying pretty much the look that she's giving you is probably indicative of, well, he's still breathing, not doing very well, right? It's the kind of look that she's given off.
These things can't be rushed. I mean, he does have the whole Vesk fleet around him, and we're but how many men? 5, 6, 7, something along the lines.
Several.
Several.
5, 6, 7, 8, my rootin' tootin' baby. Yep.
Do we have the element of surprise?
We are X.
Yeah, but do we have an almost fanatical dedication to the Pope?
Anyway, so yeah, Zora in the scene.
But yeah, he's got basically the whole Vest fleet around him, and we are few. There we go. It's a lot.
It is.
Are you undervaluing the tactical advantage of a smaller team?
Absolutely not. But there's a time and a place.
It seems like we're running out of time.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I've got so much fucking shit to do in between them. My character, obviously. Fucking right.
That's fair. That's a fair comment in character too, frankly.
Yeah, I could have a super character.
Yeah, it's true, I guess. Yeah, you can take on card, that's fine.
Yeah, and she'll say, and what would be more important in stopping this tyrant?
Maybe the fucking end of the universe, maybe?
She puts her hands up and she goes, right.
It's an actual thing.
Start from the beginning. There's like a hands up, like, let's start from that beginning. Go.
How do I even explain that?
Do we need a bomb yet, Captain?
Wait, can I call Zig? Zig in the ship? Zig's in the ship, right?
These can psychically speak to each other at all
Yeah.
times, generally.
I mean, yeah, there's that.
Hence my message. Do we
What is
need
he
a
on the
bomb?
ship? Because it'd be
Yeah.
so much simple just to bring Zig in. Can I bring Zig in?
Let me bring my
Like-
universe is going to die expert. This
What-
rat.
First thing we need a bomb.
Exactly. I'm going to say those exact words. Well, I've got a universe is about to die expert in the name of Zig that I can call in. He can explain it to you a hell of a lot better than I could.
He raises an ocular ridge at you and says, "Proceed," but like with the most like unconvinced tone possible.
I'll be like, Zig, come to the bridge and don't mind the angry looking Vesk outside the door.
Okay.
Are you doing this psychically?
And
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
Like Matva just then says while you're doing this. Well, don't feel free to waste my time any further. 'Cause you're-
Yeah, don't worry about it.
enter Zig.
No, so what happens is like you approach the bridge and there's like, maybe 8 Vesk soldiers. Basically kind of, you could probably guess because they all probably kind of, maybe there's a weird almost like wave of nausea as you approach them all, and you're kind of just picking up on the fact that they all seem to distort light and gravity around all of them. They all have similar
Right,
motes to
yeah.
what the captain has as well.
Mhm.
Just either like light or dark, depending on who they are. And yeah, they stop you.
Don't just make us have a lantern battle in the ship, please. I like the ship.
And
I
then
don't want a lantern battle in the ship.
I
Matva's
think we should
comms
take
go.
him.
And it says, obviously Barks and Vesk, the equivalent of there is an Asoki trying to enter the bridge. Matva looks at you, says,
That would be my end of the world expert.
she then says invest to them to let them in. So now they stand aside and usher you into the bridge.
Brilliant.
Mhm.
Yes, Zig enters, maybe just a wee bit confused and just Captain.
Zig.
What?
Matva, Zig.
They could kind of
Uh,
bow slightly.
Now, has Zig met Matva before? Because was Zig in the room in the Maya Mortal that isn't called that, the Calm Before the Storm? With what was his name? Babak. Remember when Babak gave the meeting? Matva was also in the ship.
Oh
I can't
yes.
remember.
Has
Were you in that?
Zig met Matva before?
I feel
Maybe
like
been
it
in the
has,
same room,
I've
but
been
not
wrong
introduced.
before.
Maybe, or maybe she just didn't give a flying crap about him at the time. I suppose.
Like, so, Callum, do you remember like the scene? So you
I don't. For some reason I don't think they have. But
because
again,
you went with
this game.
you returned
Were you
obviously.
not with Query?
Maybe. you
Oh,
were.
I
that
could be
sounds
mistaken.
right.
I feel like we left someone with Query.
Hmm.
I feel like that sounds right, but
Does anyone remember which session this was?
No.
Wouldn't have been that long ago as well, but I can't remember.
Was it the one called The Calm Before the Storm?
I mean, probably.
Probably.
Yep. Because the one after that
does
is
make a lot of sense to me.
the one after that's Super Colossal Ultranaut. So I feel like it was that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's Don't Panic, The Calm Before the Storm, and Super Colossal Ultranaut, and then The Suspect. So yeah, I think
Good names.
yeah. But yeah, so it's probably there, and that was session 77. Mark that off your bingo cards, folks.
To paraphrase, in fact, to directly
Such a lot
quote
longer ago.
George Pettit, 77 was a long time ago.
So you walk in, and you either can just decide now that you were in that scene, or that you weren't in that scene. So you either may or may not recognize Matva as at least that other Vesk that's kind of your captain's boss, kind of, but not really.
Either way, they probably weren't introduced personally, right? So it still kind of fits.
okay.
Like, almost.
I think Zig knows who Matva is. There we go.
My favourite's the fact that you rolled a D1. That's my favourite.
I know.
You rolled a D1.
It
I rolled
did.
a D1 and I got a 1.
One D1. Ah, yes.
The Zig approach.
Random chance.
Okay. So what was the outcome of that roll? Zig?
So the outcome of the actual roll, the D2, was Zig knows who Matva is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
And this is
So,
your expert.
Mm-hmm.
Turn
Expert.
Pretty much
upstairs at
first
you.
hand expert.
I will
Mind
mentally say, what am I supposed to be an expert in today?
Mind explaining to Matt for how the universe is going to potentially end.
Okay.
No
I
stress.
see. Well, as you may or may not know,
Assume I don't.
Ergolas, or a Librian issue, has been this sort of whole end game scenario has played out in many other timelines and universes, etc. One of we bumped into a person who is was like weird, but not weird before weird, in a different universe, and they shared with us how their universe, well, didn't really share how, wasn't, but essentially let us know that their universe had ended. We took them with us, and we're trying to do everything we can. This universe doesn't end due to the same problems. Now we know that in both circumstances, it was the Librian that kind of helped contribute to the end of that universe. So yeah, so it's a bit, we don't like it. We don't want the universe to end, and I'm wondering, are I'm gonna mentally say to the captain, is Mappa gonna do something about it, or wait, what's the?
I'm more like it's a diplomatic fucking meeting. More war preventative talk than anything else.
It's the bit when you're playing Risk with each other where you all stop to have food and talk about your plans for dominating the rest of the game board.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I
She's
guess
so. I'll just say she's very focused on Dimmelguest when she doesn't get the main picture. Is what I would say.
Okay. So I feel like everyone's primary focus should be, dealing with her Librian situation. Anything that we sort of do amongst ourselves is inconsequential, really, if the universe ends, because that we won't be here to. Well, maybe Weird will escape to another universe. Didn't think of that. Maybe that's what we should be looking for.
I would rather not.
I don't think
go
he's ever
into
thought
that
about the part where,
stage.
like, some possible alternate version of Weird has came through after destroying our universe may or may not have been contributed to it, and the Weird use have likes making bombs.
Yeah, I was just thinking that right now.
I don't know what you're implying.
Well, as far as I know, Alex has the only one negotiated the contract for season 2 thus far, so I know what he's talking
Maybe what I
about.
need to do, right, is I need to take that move where I punch somebody in our dimension for a couple of seconds, right? Then I'll just punch Weird into our dimension just as the universe has ended. And then, I mean,
that is probably how it happened for Queen. I don't think that guy figured it out for himself. Captain, punch me!
You have to save all of this. What? Punch.
I punched them into another
And maybe
dimension.
the next punch is the punch home. Yep.
It's the punch that was inside us all along.
If I could suggest one other thing that might be worth mentioning is that she's a strategy person, right? So she'd probably be interested in the mechanics aspect of it. So it might be worth mentioning a bit about the timeline jank, just because that sort of would give an explanation as to maybe how things might come to an end. Because,
Yeah,
if what
she
we
knows
know
about
thus far
gravity
does
and
indicate it's
stuff.
probably not a bomb.
She might be one of the best time people to speak to, actually. She knows about gravity and black holes and stuff, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
fucking
flying stuff. Okay. Um.
Now we're gonna start asking Farfur. She's gonna be like, "Oh fuck, what have I walked into?"
Well, we're there already.
Has that not
Nah.
been every cunt? Has that not been everybody?
No, you have done that with Edgar more than he's done that with you. So there's one exception.
Yeah.
Isaac.
So I can see from your expression that you may be wondering as to how
It's like a snake
how
oil.
that we came across another version of ourselves from another dimension and multiple things. But really, the important part is the important part is I have been punched through time a few times and created multiple sort of timelines of this universe. And well, basically, something. Oh my goodness, I'm losing myself here now. Oh, it's so
It's-
I
confusing.
like to believe
It's
as well
so
when you said that,
confusing.
like her
That's why I
her
called you
face,
in.
like her face has not changed at all, and you're like, yeah, I can see from the look on your face. You're like, no
Yeah,
shift, no shift at all. Love it.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh
you're
my
at the part
God.
where you said you have experienced the timeline a couple of times now. That's why you know
Yeah, yeah.
things. That's where you are.
That's
Yeah.
why I know things. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, I get obviously it might just sound like crazy talking about different universes, and contact between them, but we have experienced that timelines can run concurrently and overwrite other timelines, and we have also been in some sort of weird negative space, and then we spoke to some time gods and saw that they're trying to rebuild Galarian, which is very odd, and uh I think that probably brings us neatly onto that topic of the universe ending.
If it turns to you, Sarah. See? Was this the entertainment until your expert arrives?
No, he's been very truthful. He's just a little bit. It's okay.
With your permission, I mean, I could.
Oh no!
No.
Player agency! Player agency!
But keep in mind, Colin, keep in mind, right? Whatever you're up to at this point in the timeline, you will hear every mind conversation they have, remember? For a week.
You've heard Matt and everything.
Okay.
Because remember, the psychic link isn't, optional.
That's true.
That's
You're
true.
correct. I think I would probably have queried what they were talking about.
Who is on board, by the way, just so you remember.
Oh shit. Yeah. I didn't remember that, but then I'm not there.
I would also-
Yeah, Query is on board. So this person you're talking about that came from the universe is on board.
That's not a silly question, but you tried to. No, I think we said no to brain suck query actually, right? Did we do that?
well,
I can't
brain
remember.
suck, but that's different from mainly.
Yeah, Zig.
If
Yeah,
you're
it's fine.
having this sort of conversation mentally, or any parts of the conversation mentally, then yeah, Lyko probably should have said something, but I did briefly forget that I would hear everything. Is it worth taking a moment to have a brief mental interaction to sort of
Yeah.
clear everything up?
If you want.
I'm happy to have kind of thought about some things before saying them. Or
Uh,
thinking as I say.
so what the hell is going on, Alfred?
Well, invaded by 9 Vesk, led by Matfap, but everything's fine.
You're sure she's not the enemy?
No, but
Okay.
right now she's tame and getting info. So
It gives us the element of surprise if we need it.
Um,
oh
Okay.
yeah, weird, don't come to the bridge. You might get ganked by angry Vesk.
Only if I go through the front.
may
True.
I make a small suggestion? Observe the other Vesk.
Okay. And I will walk to the end of the corridor where the Vesk is standing.
Just stare at him.
Just stare at him. Just fucking stand at the end of the corridor looking.
Oh,
That would be that even if you're a giant lizard, that'd be fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
This
it really would.
spider tank crawls down, stares at you like, what the fuck?
So,
That's
depending
a
on
bad
if
dog
these
move,
people have seen
absolutely.
any like action with the swarm, it may or may not impact them in multiple ways. Yes.
Oh no, that's PTSD.
Yeah. Or like they're that
They start to shake.
or they're that desensitized. It's either like PTSD or desensitization, right? It's one of the. There you go. Definitely no in between. Yeah, like no, you can head to like the kind of the end of the corridor where like it would lead to the bridge, and there is just as I said, like 8 Vesk milling around, basically guarding the entranceways to the bridge.
Also, when I said the other Vesk, I actually meant thingy.
Madvin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I don't think it would occur to Lyko to explain.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I will take this interpretation of it.
Yeah, because he doesn't actually know where the 9 Vesk are, right? He doesn't actually know where even
Oh my
started or whatever. I mean, I guess he would because I've said that in my brain a couple of times.
You know how I talk about it's far more interesting to have characters who like do characterful shit than it is to have characters who make optimum decisions.
Mhm.
I feel like that is the philosophy of this party.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Fair.
I love it.
Yep. So, Zig.
yes.
Mava looks at you and says, "This is a very colourful tale that you are telling me. I'm unsure whether or not I can believe it."
Oh god.
I mean,
Do it. Just
to the
fucking
mind,
do it.
You
I
can.
think
Would
I
you
asked
believe it
Ultra
if somebody
mentally.
came up and told you this, though? Like-
No, I probably wouldn't either. I know every time he starts to suggest this, I freak out and then eventually come around to going, you know what, actually fucking do it.
You
It's always
can
actually your
confirm it.
fault. It's like you're like, no, don't do it, don't do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it, Anakin.
No, don't do it. Do it. Yeah, okay, I think if I get I think Zig would mentally obviously ask everyone if they wouldn't mind him sharing,
Mind him sharing.
stuff
Pretty
and
much.
things.
Pretty much told her the whole story anyway at this point, so go ahead.
Take care.
Now, here is my question. When I mind link with someone, I'm obviously thinking and downloading like information into their head.
Mhm.
But would any of that be going out through my telepathic link to other people?
I have no idea. What would you prefer?
Let's find out. I assume actually mechanically it doesn't, but
I don't think it
prefer-
does.
I don't think-
Yeah, I don't think it does. But when have rules ever stopped us in this game?
A
so yeah,
lot.
Never let them stop us.
Fair.
poison.
Pies will get in your
Yeah. Oh no, the rules.
Yeah. So, with your permission, I could show you. I could link my mind and show you everything that I've been to point towards or imminent end of universing problem.
So you're a psychic.
I dabble.
He raises an eyebrow. Ocular ridge, at least.
I wish I had basic long range telepathic thought or whatever that I could actually have said that in their head, but never mind.
Well, I dabble because I can't tell you that psychically, which would really prove the point.
Yeah.
And she kind of raises her ocular ridge and looks over at Zora, and she says,
It's quite safe. I wouldn't mind Snigger.
She looks at you and she says, "It is not my safety that I am worried for. It's the accuracy of the intel. If it is being projected by thought."
Oh, you'll feel it.
Proceed.
Because she will feel it, right? She
She
will.
just immediately turns to
So-
Zig and says, "Proceed." Yeah.
Zig would kind of step up and just reach his hand out.
She's still like staring just at you, like matter of factly.
You just touch my hand. You might want to sit down. Some people, overwhelmed with the
She's gonna fucking
intake
stop.
of
Not going to sit
information.
down, is she?
She's gonna fucking stop it up. You're fucking like challenger, like your brassiere fan. That was pretty much a challenge.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
The challenge of Cocktail Joe. Pulls out Doshko's and you have to go to like some fighting pit in the ship now that you have never realised it had. Yep. Turns into a cage match. No, and the things that actually happened though. Yeah. She puts out her hand. She says, "Proceed."
Kind of grabs it gently and closes his eyes and sends his beautiful mind-linking thoughts.
What are you sending her?
So everything that I said, so maybe not in the order that he said it. So I guess kind of kind of meet like some parts of meet and query in the sort of non-space thingy after
The weird white space places.
the weird white space. And
What about where
from
you
that-
were when those happened? Or is it just being there? Not like where you were. For example, like being pulled into like the pool of water and stuff like that. And then it obviously being in like Castroval, like the abandoned castle on the island, or like ending up in the vault with Edgar, like
not super specific place wise.
Right.
Like there'll be obviously apart from like being daunted from like weird wibbly out with drift inside the sun pretend land.
Okay.
From there where we saw, went to see Galarian and stuff like that.
Okay.
And she can have all of that. I don't mind
Right.
because
because what you gonna do with that information? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I guess you know what, like the InfoSpire stuff. I'll give her the InfoSpire. Why not?
Okay.
That too, because I'm a nice guy.
Is that gonna include like you going to the InfoSpire with Nix 5 and then you falling through the pool and ending up a year in the future?
So I think it would just start like from the pool part, so where Zig kind of wanders off,
Mhm.
and then looks in the pool and then gets, sucked into other.
Okay. I like it. Did you mention anything about Edgar?
And then being like shunted through time by the Radiant Supreme as well,
Okay.
just to kind of prove the time travel-y point. The maybe do I yeah, so maybe go through like the different variations of graduation day just to give Zig a little bit of a hard.
Okay. Yeah.
That's good. That's gonna be quite rough on you, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it is kind of just to prove the multiple timeline.
She needs to feel it, man. She needs
Yeah.
to fucking feel it.
You must suffer as I have to understand what I understand.
Okay. Anything else that other people might suggest, or is there anything else Zig wants to add to that? Because obviously, keep in mind you can have a player agency moment and discuss what he's willing to download.
Gear some Orgalas moments that you had with him. That'll fucking show some dread.
Oh yeah, I'll give him in the
Mm.
vault that probably wasn't the vault.
So like that conversation, the
Um,
tete-a-tete you
The
and him
mind
had.
vault.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't him killing Finida and shit just as a laugh. Just to Watch you squirm, essentially.
Mm. So what do
Because
you
he
call in
could.
the books a dick move?
It
Okay.
was a dick move.
Yeah. Anything else want to add to that, or is that the
I can't
package?
think of anything, and as
What about the
you
eggs?
suggested.
Mm.
How much
I'm
do
not
we want
sure.
to share about those with people?
I don't.
She could
I'm not
maybe
sure
know
what-
about fucking getting radiation, though. Black hole woman. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know where I stand on that.
That's you
It's a bit too
to. Well,
revealing.
it is you sending the information, so you can decide. You don't even need to adhere to the
Nah,
others.
it's not super. Nah, probably not much on eggy nonsense.
Which means you need to heavily edit the Hourglass conversation, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a point.
Mm-hmm. And graduation day. Right? They're quite woven.
It is actually. There's a lot. There's
Uh-huh.
yeah, they're quite woven.
Just fucking tell her,
to be
man.
fair,
You know
what
what?
do
Yeah,
you think-
no. Do you what? Just sack it, right?
Who gives a fuck at this point, man?
What
We're
do you
gonna
think
fucking
she's
kill
to
her
do
if she
with the
fucks
knowledge
off.
of
What's
the
she
egg?
gonna do? What's she gonna do?
We're fucking level 18 now, boys. Fuck off.
I cast meteor shower. No, yeah. So, yeah, no, she can stack it. She can have eggs, not the actual eggs, but stuff on eggs.
Okay.
Let's go with everything. Not everything, but excluding stuff like the two solar eggs, the hatching conversation and stuff like that.
Okay.
But you know, she can have stuff like
Hear the
initial kind of
context.
finding the void egg, or and obviously it getting taken from graduation day and what's happened in that set during like the differences graduation hunted stolen and
Make sure to
taken.
include that I had the good sense to still steer well clear of all that shit. Just so that
There is
people
in
know.
all of these visions there's a distinct lack of Lyco. I give her nothing on Lyco.
Are you?
You know what?
Are you gonna include things about like when you
I
and Grace
appreciate
had like a moment together, and like weird visions?
Yeah, do you know what? Yes. Do it.
Because I think, from my memory, I think you and Alice, you and the Radiant Supreme, and you and Grace have all stood in like the same weird, like almost orangey lit mind space.
Yeah.
Long before Marvel stole my soul, like stone idea, you know.
That's
Bastards.
it, yeah.
That damn Jim Starlin. It was Jim
But
Starlin.
yeah, do you know
wasn't
what? I think like even if Zig wasn't wanting to shoot, I think he'd be at the point where he's is giving so much information that like a lot of this will just come out. Like because he would be thinking like egg related stuff, or like time travel related stuff, weird alternate like, spaces and dimensions and universes and stuff. So things would just it'd be kind of like the big kind of quickly computer search time, and then just dragging the entire like
Yeah.
all the search results out and
Yeah,
kind
no,
of
I think
going
this makes
through.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you done pull that. Anything else specific, topic-wise, that you want to give her?
Maybe like something like Dimogesh looking like a twat, and there you go.
Okay. So yeah, like she kind of opens her eyes, lets go of your hand, looks at you differently, and then looks to you, Zora, and says, I understand why you have not got around to eliminating
I'd be just fast nodding this
Mhm.
time.
It's like, right?
See what I have to deal with.
It
Oh, man.
seems
enough for this.
it seems like you have found yourself quite enough distractions in this system.
Still fast nodding. Yeah. Can you see why I'm not really concentrating on Dimmergus too much? I mean, it's a tragedy if he gets away at this point, but I mean, our glass needs to be dealt with.
It seems like within there. She just like glances at Zig and back to you. There is some form of a plan.
No.
Plan is a strong word.
Yeah. Do we have a plan? I would say, mate. I wish I could say there was.
And why are you pursuing this if you have no plan?
Because everybody else is too distracted.
I would say it's not so much distraction, but ignorance to this situation.
Trying's better than doing nothing.
Those in the know. Yes. Perhaps this isn't something you should be keeping to yourself. Perhaps this is bigger.
Well, maybe if everybody could just speak as friends, it wouldn't be such a problem.
Oh my God.
If this is what we are doing, are we not?
That's why you were speaking, and that's why you now know. It's as easy as this, but I mean,
It seems like you have been aware of this for some time, however. You could have brought this information to
Times.
me.
A good interview.
Yeah, I think when you do that, you should just give you like a sharp look. If she was drunk, Deanna Troy should say, "This isn't the time to argue about time."
I mean, you must know by now that I've always been working for my crew and not for you, right? Right.
She just stares at you. Says, "I would
Well,
have
being
assumed that you
honest.
would have had the honour to have declined an order from your former commander, rather than
because
lie
you're-
to my face."
No, I took your mission on seriously. Like I said, I'm still deliberating if it's a worthy task carrying out. Probably is. Because I know that another war will happen if Demagesh stays alive, but like I said, I'm not entirely confident that it makes it out against, well, Burgalas intact.
Frankly, another word doesn't happen either way. Let's be honest.
Mm.
The way she's talking.
Mm. And she'll say, "You have no plan?"
I mean, we kind of have a plan, but I don't know how much we talk about it. I mean, they would just go for it. Just
You kind of updated her in a lot of stuff so far, right? So it's really
I mean,
weird to
yeah, we've kind of given her a lot, so what's the harm
This is
in the
more or less
universe,
this, you
in the
know.
universe knowing everything?
I mean, we're
One
currently trying
person
to
who has
gather
like a
all the
vast
eggs.
secret. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
You left out the conversation with the doubles, right? You said that
with the what?
with the double egg, the
Yeah, I
last
left that
two
off.
sessions
Yeah,
ago.
the fact that like you took a solar egg to get a solar egg that was left out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But am I now going to need to just explain this? Because that's basically the plan, right?
I mean, not necessarily,
basically
right?
going on a-
Like she's aware
we're
there
going
are
on an egg.
eggs, but it doesn't need to
Mhm.
say that like you have one on board. Doesn't mean to say she has to know that that's one from earlier or later in the timeline. Right? She doesn't need to know that.
I mean, as far as we've gathered, our glass wants the eggs, and we're trying to stop them from get the eggs. So, I mean, that's the best place to start. That's kind of the plan that we've got.
And you assume these eggs will somehow bring about the end of this universe.
I don't know if they will specifically do it or if he'll use them for it. I don't. Yeah, I don't know their purpose. I don't think any of us know their purpose.
All we know is they're integral to man. Whether or not he actually intends to destroy the universe is something else entirely.
And precisely what did he mean when he said that you could smell your scent on them?
Well, I have one. I've spent quite a bit of time with it, just trying to understand it more. Turns out, they're pretty hard to. Right.
Why not simply destroy
I-
it? Deny him the victory.
Mm,
That's what I thought.
mm,
I did say huddle into the sun, but I mean,
no, they're living.
I don't think that's going to be sufficient.
I was a bit. I was going. I was
Well,
say
her
that, but
her reply
that's not
is going to be
stop. That's not going to.
yes. They seem
stop
to be
God.
living at the cost of the rest of us. You put that one life above the universe.
I feel lives might
Perhaps you should stop feeling and you should start
Integral.
thinking.
integral to saving the universe.
That's still going to be our statement regardless. Just talking over you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I accept
mhm,
that. That's
yep.
fine.
mhm.
Doesn't matter that she's wrong.
I think what he's trying to say is like,
If he's your
Probably
expert,
not.
he will not be trying to say anything. He will be speaking his mind.
I mean, when it comes to this, I don't think anybody's an expert. He's mainly just the one that knows the most. Like, I think you can attest to that.
Speaking.
She just nods.
Yeah.
She just nods to that. Like that's like she definitely doesn't deny the fact that that's a lot of info to process. Still, it's obviously still unspooling in her head. My recommendation would be that you destroy the egg, be rid of it, and thus deny the problem. Then you could focus on more pressing things, such as Tomogesh and his advances.
She's still not getting it, boys. She's still not getting it.
Well, you've said the universe might end, and Urgalas is going to do that with these eggs, and she's saying break an egg, and then you can't do it, and that literally solves everything you've just shown her.
I know.
That's her process on the,
Okay,
The other
so
issue is we don't know if the way Urgalas is using the eggs is to break them in order to destroy the universe. There's too much that we don't know in order to risk that.
They could
yeah,
well.
you got to
I
stop
should
him.
have said that in
You can't
character.
just-
Hold on.
I think that's what
Imagine
you
Zig
could
said
be,
that.
Okay.
is that it's not going to be enough to take away his toys because we don't know exactly what he's intended to do with them. It's got to be stop him,
Mm-hmm.
or it doesn't matter because if he's still kicking about, who's to say he doesn't decide to go for a little time walk of his own? I do definitely think you could convince her of the idea that you need to remove the head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
She goes back to leaning on that console again. Arms by her sides, like kind of supporting her, looking between the two of you and saying, that could be correct. You could be playing into his plan, so to speak, if you were to destroy the eggs on his behalf. But surely if this entity has taken refuge on Octron, it would seem this is the stage for this plan.
Zora would nod. I mean, like we said, his plan might not be to actually destroy the universe. It might be a byproduct of what he tries.
Oh
I
no,
mean,
it seems like it definitely is meant to be a byproduct.
It is a
like
byproduct,
he
100%.
certainly does seem to be trying to like revive his people, right? To undo his people's mistake.
Mhm.
So I don't think he wants to undo them by undoing the universe. I think he wants to like reset Eox. It might be worth mentioning.
Mm.
You mentioned a little bit about Galarian, right? Or you
Mhm.
showed her a little bit about Galarian. I mean, I think you have to raise the distinct possibility that it might not be just him. It might be the combination of him trying to unfuck the timeline, or well, not unfuck it, but
Nice
fix it
Valis,
in
yeah.
his mind, which in reality is going to fuck it, and also the gods trying to do the same thing.
Mhm.
In other words, it might not be as simple as just stopping the Olibrian. Like that, even that might not be the whole shebang.
It's a fair point, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
good
we
point.
don't know for sure that just stopping his plan is going to be enough. But it's got to be a part of it. I think it's worth conveying to her, like, it isn't as simple as just like, oh, he doesn't have the eggs, it's fine, the universe can't end. We don't know that.
I think that I'll go back in character and says, and what I'm trying to say is like, I don't think we should be messing with things that we don't understand. I think these eggs are beyond us. Like destroying them could be what Demogesh ends up doing to revive his planet. Maybe he needs some energy from him.
Give me your glass, yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yep, go.
The other bad guy.
Bad guy the second.
Yeah. He's kind of the first.
Okay,
I'll go
yeah.
that's the first. I'll go that's definitely the first. I mean, literally, he's the first bad guy that we ever met, right?
I mean, I suppose so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, where was I? Yeah. So like, we just don't know. We feel like
Like, the laws of narrative clearly show he's the important thing.
they're important, and you shouldn't touch them.
Yeah, because I've been known to follow those laws, obviously, Colin. Yeah, I think the Event Horizon herself is just obviously in deep thought at this. Definitely not disagreeing with the fact that, you know, nobody actually knows. Right? That's clear. Other than you have a piece of the puzzle, but you don't know what the puzzle is.
Mm-hmm.
What of the others? Although she says.
Well, there's one locked away in a vault that we for now know that Urgalas can't get to or find. I would look at Zig, questioning eyebrow raise. Like,
For the time being, I think.
What a terrible phrase. Like, for the time being. The time being. Which time being? You know a few.
For this time being, this time round, I don't think he can get it. Get the void egg, but yeah, there's the issue with the rad egg that we still haven't got a solution for.
The one central to Daza.
Central to that.
oh, sort of a nod.
It's not. Because I did not see in the link that this Urgalas came into contact with the void egg at any stage. Am I mistaken?
When would they came into contact with the void egg?
Did he?
Or
I think
she
he
not?
did.
I don't think he did. He almost did. when we were trying to get to when you were trying to go to the vault, sorry, and then obviously he ganked you, ambushed you.
Ah, yes.
He said some stuff that we couldn't understand at the time in the Oxy, when he did make his dramatic entrance, which later led to the void egg being drank of its yolk.
Mm.
But for whatever reason, he didn't.
The void egg was swallowed whole by Imani
Yeah, but
Imani.
in the
Imani,
vault,
yeah,
and that's I
Yeah.
think the last you saw of it. I think.
yeah.
But
I'm
then
pretty
did
sure.
that
But
happen?
that no longer
Mhm.
happened.
So it
We
seemed
believe
like,
it's still-
and when you last saw the Librian, you and him spoke kind of in the weird pseudo entrance way of the vault. You just had that conversation. But you never saw an egg or the lack of an egg because you were at the entrance. So yeah.
He's a real dick.
So, yeah, as far as we know, he doesn't have access to the void egg, and he's not came into contact with it.
As far as we know, he's a real dick.
Yeah,
So that's what you're saying to her.
yeah, I'm sad.
I see. Do you know its location or who in fact does?
We
Possess this?
know its location, yes, but we can't currently go to it because we believe going to it will lead Argalas to it will basically open the door for him.
Are you the only ones capable of opening this door?
No.
But we don't know that he knows who else, right? Like, he knows that we could get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows I'm connected to it, but
But I only knew that you knew that I would.
but I know that you know that he knows.
You know?
You know?
So what's your answer to Matva in that regard?
No, but I don't believe he does. No, that there's more than one. There's technically only two.
And where is this Lantoral?
She's the queen of the drow.
He says, well, she said where is, not who is.
Wherever the queen of the drow resides.
No, we have.
Access.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
reason
she's
to
on
believe she's
Triaxis.
in Triaxis.
Oh, right, she's in
I
Triaxis.
think I believe.
So, you're saying that this Black Dragon Hamani had ownership of this void egg artifact, and
Different timeline, but yeah.
no, you're saying
No,
that
he still
had,
he still
He
had
did
it.
have it
It still was
previously,
his.
Had it-
It
Oh,
was
he
still
did have it. That's
his,
right. Sorry.
and it was
yes.
taken by these the Drow Lantoral, who is now on Triaxis, the home of the Black Dragon Hamani.
Mm-hmm.
It also seems
He
to
does
have
raise an interesting point.
the Vescarium flotilla and the head of Aspis. She kind of nods, mostly to herself. That would raise
Ask her.
a lot, would you not think? She looks between the two of you.
Ask her about
Sorry,
it.
not.
Ask her. Because she brought her up. Listen, she brought her up.
Just yeah. A lot of players in the one place. I don't suppose you know anything about any of them. You know, I mean, it'd be nice to know a
That's
little
very
bit about Himani as well. Like, for all you know, Himani's like been protecting this egg for fucking eons, and we've just painted him the wrong way for like the whole game.
Well, remember,
He's actually the keeper of the eggs.
remember way back when, like, Edgar said, right, there's two jobs you could take. You could go hunt down this random, like, Abadar agent, or you could go, help this Black Dragon whose, like, vault was robbed. Yep. So, yeah, maybe. Maybe indeed Himani has been the Egg Guardian. But yeah. So, what do you ask her? What's the
Yeah, I
what?
would say, yeah, it's a lot of interesting people in one place. I mean, don't suppose you know anything about, like, maybe the Black Dragon or MLO.
Such as?
Such as, boys.
Well, if we're going to play our
Likes,
agency, I'd like to know
dislikes.
if there's any connection.
You don't even need to play shit, you
Carry
could psychic it and keep it in context, right?
I would like to know
realistically.
about MLO and Himani for Matfa. I would say in brain speak, just to
I assume you
bring
call
in
it
the
the
game,
Event
I guess.
Horizon, obviously, but we can.
Well, yeah, the
shorten
Event
it down.
Horizon. Yeah.
Oh,
I just
yeah, it's
didn't.
gotta be respect.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was depending on if you were
I,
going to
said
do
it,
respectfully. Yeah.
I realised that they were like Zig and
'Cause
Matfa.
she has
and
never
Anthony
called
as well.
you Zora. I've only said she turns to Zora. I've
Mhm,
never said she's
mhm,
called you.
yeah,
She will refer
yeah.
to you as the Abyss.
Mhm. Event Horizon's so long-winded.
Which is more important, right? It's not like
So
the Brave Ewok
long-winded.
Annihilator.
That's
Don't
like
you
the
can you
longer the
imagine
title,
playing?
the more prestigious it is.
Can you imagine playing in someone else's Starfinder game? Firstly, lol, and secondly, their Vesk could be so boring because that isn't obviously a Vesk trait from the book. That's just something we added.
Yeah.
I'd be disappointed.
But yeah, I'll say anything we want to ask of the Event Horizon when it comes to MO or Himani.
You could ask her where she thinks he's going to fall in terms of this current Vesk situation. She's clearly developed a powerful weapon for the Vesk at the request of Matva, but does she have a side? Does she care? Is she going to oppose the Viscarium? Probably not.
Okay. So, for instance, where does MO stand in all this, really? What she got to gain from helping the Vesk besides, well, obviously giving you very potent weapons, apparently.
They had the manufacturing facilities that were not under direct control by Demogesh, which were useful to my requirements. Beyond that, she is of no use to me. What use is she to you? She's an arms dealer.
She seems to have her hands in all the business suspiciously.
And as you said, war is everywhere.
All of this business is what I mean by like alluding to what we were just talking about, obviously.
What part do you think she plays in all of this then? You seem more informed than I.
She's just everywhere. I would like to at least have something on her.
She just laughs at that, right? She just laughs and she goes, all good salesmen are everywhere.
Oh, fucking apparently. Apparently.
You should perhaps mention she has interest in the other universe.
She also has interest in the other universe. I know of that. She's got a lot of. Well, she's trying to find Query.
Do you think she has a hand in this end we are facing?
I wouldn't be surprised if she's psychotic enough to try and prod it along.
That would go against everything that would make sense for someone who has, positioned themselves to profit from the existence of this universe.
I don't know. She might just be bored. I wouldn't put that past her, to be honest.
Or crazy enough to make her, to crazy enough to think that she can leverage power over the existence of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. And you've got all the power in the world. What else do you seek for?
Matva just kind of thinks that over a bit and then says, I would say that is somewhat of a leap, but I would not say it is untrue yet. Definitely, she definitely has the look of still trying to process everything that's just been put in her head, right? It's hard to say what is crazy now.
She's definitely been quite guarded as well. I know clearly so is the captain, but even though you've given a lot of information, you've given a lot of information, but you hedge your bets with almost everything you say, and she's kind of doing the same thing.
It's because
There's a lot
they're
of
like,
bees.
one friendly conversation away from choking each other out. That's why.
Well, this is the time to get everything out there, clear the air.
A mass mind link with universe. Everyone knows what's going on.
Oh God, no, that's how
That's
it's
how
See
going
what
to end.
happens.
Hysteria. man.
Everyone gives Zig your power.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the last thing you hear is, I bring you peace and love. Boom. Mind blown. So yeah, Jonathan goes, this query, is he on board?
Is it bold, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
I would nod.
What information has he provided?
Nothing, he's useless.
Nothing.
Don't expect anything from him. He's how he survived the end of a universe. No man knows.
Hold on. He's not useless though, is he? Because MLO has a purpose for him.
I mean, outward, he's useless, and I don't know how such a man survived the end of a universe. And I would say that out loud because that's how Zora feels.
How does one master such a gift?
Yeah, it baffles Zora. It still baffles him. You'd expect
Perhaps
an
he did not
absolute
have a
specimen.
direct hand in his own salvation, it seems. He could even have been exiled from his universe. We do not know his tale is true. Merely that he told it.
I mean, the thought has crossed my mind. Because I'm still not entirely sure about what he says is.
How you seem so sure that he is not in fact the perpetrator who was exiled from his universe to preserve it.
I don't believe what he says is untrue. I believe he's not saying everything. Whether or not he knows that he's not saying everything is a different question entirely.
Mm.
He does have a little bit of a mean streak. I'll say in Brown speak. Did I tell him? Oh fuck! I've told her everything else anyway. He's got a fucking. he seems to have a different side to him that we've never really seen once.
I see.
Some kind of fight or flight mode.
Not a bad instinct to have if you have been exiled from a universe full of enemies. Entering this universe, what would he expect? A welcome?
Not sure what he wants, to be honest. Seems kind of, like I said, he seems useless.
She just nods to that. She has no basis for any of it, right? Because I think much of that was transferred in Zig's mind link. She just nods to that and then says, perhaps he has a part to play.
I'm sure he does.
Perhaps not, though, if he is indeed useless. But I guess if he is from another universe, it would serve to be proof that this is not the only battlefield to claim.
Eye roll.
But she's saying that in the way like she says, if I were an arms dealer.
Yeah, true, right, yeah. I guess we did actually allude to that. I think we'd actually thought of that in a previous session where we were talking about this as well. Like that she would.
Yeah, this is her clicking with that, right?
About that feeling, what our crew had thought of the possibility. Yeah.
Why not simply sell him for the information from her directly? She is a businesswoman, after all, and if he is as useless to you as you say, perhaps you could learn something in the process.
Like he says, perhaps he has a part to play in all this. Perhaps not, but perhaps.
You're starting to sound like you believe in destiny. The abyss. And that it does not suit you. She just chuckles.
What do I say to that?
I don't know,
right?
because you can't see the future, which is weird, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was introduced to Destiny a long time ago. Because I guess I do know the future. I do see the future, right? So I kind of know that Destiny's
God,
almost a thing. Which it sucks.
Mhm.
Fuck Destiny. Destiny sucks.
I mean, Zig was pretty much told something similar, right? Like, you know, he's done this
Yeah.
like 11 or 12 times. Like, you need to stop because it doesn't work out the way he wanted to.
Apparently, time always finds a way, is what I'll say, I guess.
Brains works.
Because the best part about this as well is Zora still doesn't know that he can see the future.
I think, yeah.
He just dreams it and he's all, fuck, did that happen? Deja vu. Oh, that was quite vivid, actually, but that was pretty vivid deja vu.
I think Matva just says, and what is your next course of action? You seem to be heading to Akaton in a hurry. Is it to retrieve this third egg?
Yeah, I've got to try and find a way to retrieve it.
And then
It's kind of troublesome.
And then do what with it?
Did we have to take it back to the Radiant Supreme, or have we just go to keep the eggs? I can't remember what the conclusion of that was.
He didn't say. Like, he pretty much went, good luck, everybody. Bye.
As he always fucking does, man. Like, basically. Like, every time.
You leave Cleric alone. It feels weird calling him Clerk. He's the Radiant Supreme. Have some respect, Ryan.
Yeah. What's sakes?
Yeah, so...
David, what I do with him.
Yeah, like, she's just kind of staring between the two of you like, well...
I mean...
One problem at a time.
Exactly!
Is that what Zig says?
Yeah, and he has, like, he puts on his, like monk, like, wise face on.
I'll put on the monk wise face and go, we must learn how to walk before we run.
Oh my god, Matva rolls her eyes, they scream, they shatter the windows, you get blown out into space.
I'm sorry, I couldn't
These
resist,
matters
man.
of importance cannot be rushed.
This is not the choice you are looking for.
So, anyway, bringing it back into the scene, I think Matva says, I would not suggest you destroy a city's power grid to only have an artifact that will kill all of your crew.
Yeah, you're not wrong. We weren't really. It's mostly just to analyse and whether or not we actually should be taking it or not is the main reason we're actually going now. Like, I guess.
So we're going to go to a location to decide if you should be there.
It seems to have its own defences on lock. It's just whether or not Urgalas can withstand.
Perhaps he's unaware of it.
Which a lot of people are. But...
And don't you think that your interactions there might perhaps ruin that?
But maybe that's what Destiny wants, you think? Yeah, I've got the most experience when it comes to seeing visions of Destiny, okay, and ascertaining well and know they're true, even though I don't know I can do it. Destiny's a tricky bitch.
Yeah, it's awkward. I reveal it's the fragments of Destiny. No. Yeah, I think Mava just kind of like tries to like linger on that point of like you might just be like sending up a flare saying this is the egg you're looking for, right?
I mean, I would also probably cross my arms, close my eyes, get a nod as well, you know. Get you're right. It's not drying. We might just be pointing at it, especially if our glass is like got his beady eyes on Zig all the time, which he probably does in some cosmic way.
Ah, he's just sniffing me.
Mm.
I don't think he can see.
I was just looking between the two of you like, the fuck? So you have no plan. You know you have an enemy, but you are unaware of his plan, or how to thwart it, other than
Yes,
remove
that's-
your enemy.
And that's what makes him formidable.
That and his enormous power.
Yes.
It's got enormous power, and we've got no way to deal with it.
I mean, physically, he's a bit of a scrub, but
How much of Sindale did you send over, Zig, to Matva?
maybe.
Yeah. Remember all the stuff on
I was
like
gonna say.
the Merciless Blade?
I was gonna say maybe the point where we went, we need an egg, and then the egg appears, but maybe not, because that might seem a bit too useful.
Don't know. It's up to you. Like, I mean, Sindale has been useful, so
Yeah.
he's one of the most useful NPCs, actually.
Maybe he did send that. Maybe he sent just like that and
I mean, specifically, did you say anything about the fact that he like went and kind of shook up the Viscarium's like allegiance with the Bone Sages and the Corpse Fleet and everything? Did any of that get sent?
I don't think so. I don't think they could have.
Probably worth talking
Found
about
it.
though.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like because she would have commented had that been sent over. That's fine. I think what she will say in that case then is, if we are worried about the grander connections to all of these events, then do you happen to know why this Bone Sage has allied themselves with Mogesh? This Sindale? My intelligence said that he was destroyed with Absalom Station.
It's a long story.
That's also a story, a long story.
He got better.
Yeah, he didn't die.
They never seem to, do they?
Apparently.
I guess it's their thing.
What was that, Zig?
I would say I guess it's their thing. They're not dying thing.
I will not mention electroencephalons and confirm
No.
the Vesco the Bone Sages. That's
Yep,
not going to happen.
Appreciate that.
Like-
Yeah. Maybe that entire Eox adventure is definitely edited out, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Bone Sages, they just don't die. I don't know. He's an ally of convenience, probably. I've got the opinion that Sindel probably doesn't care too much if Demigesh goes and kills himself against Sturgalas. I mean, why would he?
The answer to that's just like deep thought and says. And we are believing the Bone Sages were former Illibrians from long ago.
Yep, I would nod.
She just nods to that as well. Like that seems to at least match up with her intel files. And then says, the Bone Sages were the only formidable opponent in this system for our original incursions.
Still be nodding.
However, the Imperatrix has her sights set elsewhere, other than the Pact Worlds. This is a mere distraction. Demogesh's attention here is a vanity project at best.
Still been nodded.
The-
Agreed. Still.
It is curious though that this Sindael would ally himself with Demogesh, and yet retask an enormous amount of resources, merely, it seems, by being an ally of convenience. The sheer amount of Vesk troops that have been relieved of the war effort against the Swarm by the replacement of the Corpse Fleet is impressive.
In the end, he's diverted these forces away from the being that the 80% of them and put Demagesh in front. It's kind of a win for Sindael.
It's a very clever tactical outcome. Yes. Do you call him ally?
He's helped us out on occasion, yes.
And what was the cost of such help?
Nothing. He's asked for nothing.
Does that not disturb you?
Is that right? Is that right?
Well,
He's
I mean,
never
not
asked for anything.
nothing.
Yeah, there's been a lot of nuance to that, but that involves the Eox conversation, so yeah. But she says, does that not worry you?
It kind of owes us, right? But I'm not actually saying that because that would allude to electroencephalon bollocks, and I don't want to bring up any of that shit. Like, I'm trying to avoid that conversation as much as possible, really.
She knows that we have a Barai, though, right? She does know
Yeah.
about it. So she could probably...
I guess
That
it's a
assumes she
soft
knows
spot
that the
for her,
Barai and the
isn't it?
Sindael are tied together.
They're a dying race, and I feel like
True.
I'm saying this to Thiggy, like they're a dying race, and I feel like he's just trying to keep these people alive. In a manner of speaking.
She nods, like as if, yeah, no, I get that, yeah. Like a dying race that seemed to be drawing it out as long as possible. They have been dying for a long time, it seems.
I would
Long
nod.
before our records can reach that far back until we hit the gap. She just nods and says, I would suggest you start removing pieces from the board. It does not need to start with Demogesh, but I feel like you are playing a game where there are too many moves left unmade.
I would nod. Hence why I try to go to Acton and stroke off whether or not we should be doing anything about this radiation egg. The rad egg.
She kind of like, yeah, her face screws up when you say that a little, and like her brow furrows, and she says, I personally think that would be a terrible idea. I feel like that shows your hand. To who I am not entirely sure, but I feel like my intercepting your ship was not a terrible outcome.
Not at all, and you'll need to tell us how you did that.
I'm sure I can one day. But anyway, it very quickly brushes over that.
I thought you were going to say, you need to drop by more often. You know? The door's always open.
Evidently, the cockpit's always open. So she then says, I think it would actually be quite ill-suited for you to continue on to Akaton. I think if there are eyes on you, you're merely telling them where to look. Perhaps you should be trying to force Urgalas's hand.
In my brain, I'd be like, she's not wrong.
Not wrong about what?
Fuck.
She's saying that we shouldn't go to Akaton because it reveals her hand if we're being watched.
And you are
that-
being watched because she was watching you.
Yeah, and that we should force our glass's hand instead.
How would
whatever
she
we are
suggest you
doing.
do that?
How would you
How would you
suggest?
suggest?
I think she looks at you too like, that's creepy. Obviously, her just stare. Like, I love the idea that there's just long shots of silence of using the room because there's the non-telepathy conversation cut.
Yeah.
And she just says, spends a long time together. You just have something he wants. Offer it to him. If you feel he needs more. What's the risk? You're not willing to destroy it.
I hate this plan.
No, this is a good plan.
Of course you would like it.
Bring him to Akaton.
That's a terrible
Not
idea.
not Akaton. Sorry, not Akaton. I keep on being to say Triaxis.
Okay.
Bring him to Triaxis.
Get all the
Bogesh
players on one
Exactly.
planet and just
Bogesh wants
drop
to
a
lead
bomb
from
on them.
behind. Well, you can't lead from behind when the enemy turns up directly on your back line.
Mm-hmm.
So that's no fucking wrong, but then we're basically dooming Triaxis to death and destruction.
Is that the worst?
It's the
That's the
season
land of the
finale,
dragons. That's the land of the dragons.
They need to get off their high horse anyway.
I mean, yeah, those are so big horses. I mean, give them a break.
Mhm.
Oh, I actually no. I think she has a point. Like,
She doesn't.
I
She doesn't
think we
have
could-
a point.
we
It's
could-
very
we could
Vesk.
draw him out and maybe take out some of our other problems using him. And who knows if they could slow him down.
Mm.
Idea.
It's not like she wins in any of this scenario at all, is it?
Not really. I mean, other than Demogesh dying.
Yeah, that's a terrible shame, isn't it?
I mean, it's more but in the grand scheme of things, she doesn't know what they were planning, just to
Mhm.
like flip on his seed and lead Argalas to Demogesh, right? So that's nowhere a plan came
Could
from.
we lure Urgalas onto the super colossal base ship?
Okay, this
At the
is
same
colossal
time,
ultra.
it's well-
Right.
I
Get
guess.
him to take it out, then we steal it, and bam.
How did you encounter him the last time? Remind me.
I attempted to go to Thanida's vault
With the Nida.
with Thanida.
If you could try that again from the Blafty, the what's it called?
The
again?
Merciless Blade.
The Merciless Blafty.
Yeah.
Then he might take the opportunity to try and get you again. He might be able to come through with you. I don't know, but it's worth a shot. At the very least, you'd probably indicate your location to him. This could work. I'm just saying, I think the NPC has a point.
NPC has a point. The tactical espionage NPC has a
Yeah.
point about espionage.
Try and get his attention and be like, here, clearly I was mistaken, batting for the wrong team. You've got all the I get your side of the story now. I've had some time to think.
Hmm.
Here, I've got this nice egg for you.
Right?
Okay, maybe be a little more salt.
Yeah.
But I mean,
How
it's
do you
an
word it though?
idea.
How do you word it to get to Triaxis? Get him to Triaxis.
And keep
though?
him.
Like,
Sorry, another point as well. Remember, you have the older solar egg. The younger one is like back at the monastery, is it not?
Yes, we've got the older one.
And if the older one is destroyed or something, then will the younger one still exist?
Right? Or could you then just decide to do something else with the younger one and thus stop him having the older one? Who knows? Right?
Could we attempt to
just fucking name slip
get
at
the right
Lantaral.
egg?
Just name slip Lantaral when you're speaking to him, man, and just be like, oops.
I mean, if we do bring, we really would be bringing all of the players together in the one location, and
And
you
then we have one
know,
really big bomb.
A one really big bomb. Yep.
the thing is though, There is already a bomb, isn't there?
I was about to say there's already a big fucking bomb in Triaxis the day by Edgar.
And I think I'm probably going to be meeting it soon. I'll be honest with you.
You do realise that you're like basically walking into that bomb by taking this meeting with Emma. What if Edgar shows
Yes,
up?
oh,
and
I
he's like,
do. I 100%.
"Aye, motherfuckers."
But I just took a meeting with the dragon, and I'm going to take a meeting with Emma. I was going to take it in her headquarters, right? Like whatever I was doing, I was very much walking into the belly of the beast. But that's how you prove you get swag, you know?
Well, remember the last conversation you had with Mr. White Blossom was a
Yeah, that it would be doing it in his place now. But
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
initially my plan
Mhm.
was just to go
walk in. Yeah,
and meet her at her office.
I think you've like the last place we left you was she'll be here in an hour. I think is what you said.
Hmm
And I left you to.
After I
Sure.
believe after having initially said, "Oh, I could probably have her here in 2 hours," indicating that perhaps he had planned this a little bit
Yes.
more.
Yes. Like maybe to phone and cancel if you weren't into the idea. Yeah. So, okay, back in the scene. She has just posed the option. Why don't you just give, him the egg and see what he does with it? Yous have had this tete-a-tete. And what's your reply to that in this scene?
I mean, you're not wrong, but we could draw him out. And this is kind of out of character a wee bit, right? We could draw him out, yes. And he could take out Argolash for us, yes. But then what do we do?
You mean the Mogesh?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could take out Damagesh, but then what do we do? But then it's still
Surely
just
one Elibrian cannot fight off the entire Viscarium and, I mean, whatever Sindale's got left in him, because he's up there, wherever Ramasethu happens to be, all the dragons, never mind, all the resources that are around Triaxis that aren't just like dragon related. Right.
Remember that part where Matva says
yeah,
that
like,
the
come
problem
on,
was the
we're-
bone sages and 80% of them got killed by him.
Well, there was about 150 like a part of the Eternal Convocation, yeah, and then there was 8 left.
Oh, this was more than
And
80%.
what's
It's
the
like
point?
fucking 90 odd
We're
percent.
murder machines.
It
Mm.
almost doesn't matter if he can take them all on, because as soon as random war starts happening, it's
Mhm.
not just going to be a case of like fighting the known enemy. Chaos is going to reign, and in the confusion, the battles is going to ignite. It's not just going to be Urgalast. It's going to be, when we do this, if we do this, we are going to be accelerating the timeline of war, right? Like, shit's going to kick off because no one's going to know what's happening. And in that fog of war, there's going to be war.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because obviously the reason why that didn't happen when Absalom blew up is because of the sheer devastation that caused to just the infrastructure.
And also, people thought they kind of knew what happened, but no one was sure.
Mhm.
And it wasn't a complete clusterfuck of it could be anyone. Everyone was like,
Yeah.
did the Bone Sages do it? But wait, was it Sindael? But he's dead,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of unknowns that it was like, if we even like follow this, maybe that causes a bit of political unrest and a constant political unrest at the moment. It's not like the stewards are in a great position to help either. So luckily the Vesk were on hand to support the stewards.
Support.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said, yeah. Support.
Mhm.
Mm.
Quote unquote.
Oh, fuck up. There's a crane fly hovering about near me. I really hate crane flies. They're so fucking gross. Get away, you prick.
So, what do you say
Apologies.
in the scene? What's the scene?
I mean, your plan's not terrible.
Oh, you say you have literally nothing you can use this egg for other than just merely carrying it until it is taken from you. You're not willing to destroy it, you don't know its function. This would help you find its function. Let the enemy tell you. To me, it's your only plan. And regarding this other egg on Daza, I feel like you should not endanger the lives of the citizens of Daza just for another liability.
It's funny because our other plan is to basically just put fucking the whole planet of Triaxis under
Yeah.
fire.
She doesn't know that though. She's not allowed to metagame.
Um,
As much as it'd make my life easier if they all could.
I mean, there is a way to kind of accelerate everybody maybe realizing what the main problem is, instead of using the. But the plan was to instead using the solar egg, we're going to use the void egg as bait. Is that right? Or was it a mad? Did I?
No, you just have the
It's
solar egg.
all
You
the
don't
void
have
I
the void egg.
suggested it. I was like, oh well, we could try and get the void egg, or at least show him where it is,
Mhm.
and get him to get the void egg.
So let me be a GM to the players for a second. Here is things you know and don't know. You have established that you are pretty confident that he cannot get to the void egg without your help, right?
Yes.
You have a solar egg, and
Mhm.
it seems like nobody knows about the Daz egg, right?
No, it 100% makes most sense to use the solar egg that we've got.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it probably makes more sense to use the newer one rather than the older one. But yeah, there's.
Back to Razor Beam. Can we swap them back, please?
I do think there's I do think there's a problem in using the void egg because that sort of cedes control of where it happens. Like if we just let him in, then he just goes there and takes it. We want to get him to a strategic position where we can kick things off. And
Yeah,
and,
literally having
you know,
the egg on Triaxis and saying, here it is
yeah.
you know.
Because best case scenario, we force everyone's hand and they realise how much of a problem it is. Worst case scenario, we force everyone's hand and everyone starts blowing each other up. But that's probably going to start happening in the medium term anyway.
Yeah.
You know, in the mid-term anyway.
Yeah.
So
The thing is, everyone's more focused on blowing each other up anyway, as opposed to dealing with.
The possible universe-ending bomb that might
Yeah.
be Orgalas. Yeah.
It's a good way to show everybody that Orgalas is a universe-ending bomb.
Also,
suppose.
if yous were smart, yous could do this, and yous could just go to Octurn instead of being on Triaxis while it happens.
It's not a bad idea. Let me read my spell list. Oh no, wait, I've never played Octurn.
They have destroy planet.
No, but it has teleport all of yous to that planet.
That's handy.
It's really handy.
It's very handy.
It just depends if
Oh,
you
I
have something.
can.
It just depends if you have something to do on Octurn. That was the only caveat there. If you think there's nothing to do there,
Exactly,
then yeah.
always specific. We could think of them.
But you do have a guide you could take with you, assuming he's still alive. Who's the Octurn expert that you know?
oh my god. We need to go to Triaxis first. It needs to be done this way anyway. My plan is coming together. When I say my plan, I mean her plan that I've now co-opted.
You just want to start a space war.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's a pretty cool idea.
Remember when you were offered to be paid to start a space war? Remember? Way back when?
I mean, that was a fucking shit space war. This is a good one.
Yeah.
It's an all-out space war.
Right, so, what do you say to Matva?
I mean, we could definitely bait him in to maybe even try Axis. It'd be a good way to, well, essentially kill two birds with one stone.
Try 17. That's quite an undertaking. The Pact Worlds would not necessarily recover from their second fallback focal infrastructure zone after the fall of Absalom. Traxxas was where they were picking up the pieces. To risk that is bold. She just nods in respect to that, right? Like, she's not saying that's a bad plan, just a bold plan.
In the end of the day, like, they're just going to get picked off one by one if nobody realises what they've got to deal with. it's better to open up their eyes the hard way than them dying with closed eyes.
She nods very affirmatively. Yep, of course it is.
That was one of the more Vesk things you've said, yeah.
And then she says, "You just take the solar egg." She says it with trepidation. "You take the solar egg to Triaxis. You summon this Elibrian." She looks at you, Zig, when she says that. And then survive, she shrugs.
Bold plan. Like you said.
Yes. Bold. Just nods slowly. "Perhaps I could lend assistance to your machinations. I could in fact retrieve the Daza egg for you, if required. I do not think it is a good idea, but if you wish it removed from Akaton, if you believe it to be compromised, that could be done."
For now, I don't think it's compromised, but do we want that? I would say he'd speak.
I think if she can just be on standby to get it, then that's great.
Perhaps.
But I don't think taking it's probably. I mean, as much as I want to become the destroyer of the universe,
Perhaps maybe give me a. Perhaps just keep your eye on it in case we fail. I mean, if this goes tits up, you're probably the only other person that knows what's going on at it now.
I like the idea of the Vesk
Something.
have that expression.
Immediately, this was my exact thought. It was like, such a weird expression. I mean, Zora's definitely
tails
picked it
up. I'd say if things go tails up. Fucking.
No, I think like you've been around like Emlyn enough to know that that's a phrase you'd use.
Yeah,
right?
I would say tits up, right? Because I've been around fucking too many packed worlds
Well,
at this
you'd
point.
walk onto the bridge of the 11th hour and you'd be like, "What's all the alarms?" "Well, things have gone tits up, Captain." I can hear Emlyn say that. So yeah, I think Nava said, yes. So, given the vast capabilities of the Elibrian, I do not think it would be something I wish to wait around on too long.
I mean, can't say I'm too thrilled to take it on either. It shrugs.
Kind of nods. And then says, "Zora, Saviour of the Universe, is somewhat more of a lofty title, would you not say?"
No more titles. No more titles. But at least this one would actually be true.
Just laughs. And then we cut from you guys. We go all the way over to Lyko. So Lyko, I don't know when this takes place in regard to that, because that's a conversation for people that have tracked the timelines better than we have.
Let's just say afterwards, right? Because we were waiting for like an hour. Those are probably happening roughly simultaneously.
Sure, that's good enough for me. Yep. And then don't care if MD says that the days don't match up. Screw you. And then yeah.
Canon now, baby.
Yep, that's how it works. And live in the now, not the then. So there are servants that attend your quarters. Let's say Mr. White Blossom has asked for your presence at the entrance.
And he'll have it. And then I'll just gesture them to, lead me out.
Yeah, and again, you're taken through the big kind of essentially castle that he's got. You're led to like the kind of some of the steps that overlook the big kind of white stone, like the white kind of sandstone type or sandy type stone landing platform where your limo was parked. And downlands, like quite an expensive looking transport. And the door whooshes open, and obviously you see that bladed black glass legs slide out first, and she stands up beside the door, looks out over it. She's got her sunglasses on, her hair pulled back, very kind of like tight black outfit. Very businesslike. And then you just hear the piercing through the stone, as she walks across and heads up the stairs towards yourself and White Blossom. And she takes her glasses off as she's approaching, kind of folds them, and kind of gestures vaguely to them between the two of you and says, "I was quite surprised to receive the invitation so suddenly." And she says it with a kind of her sheepish smile that she almost uses as a full stop. She's staring at you, Lyko.
Our gracious host didn't want to play host over long.
She smiles and she nods quite respectfully to him, and does the same to her, and says, "Let us go inside, and we shall keep this as brief as people with busy schedules can agree to." And then he shuffles inside. Not even hiding any sign of his weird doddering frailty vibes that he's been giving off the whole time. And he's head through to again kind of similar meeting room thing, a bit like the kind of big dining room you were in, but it's clearly designed to be a bit more intimate now. Smaller table and such. And yeah, you're left to sit, and she sits cross-legged as well. Probably looks a bit awkward, but it's fine. And she says, "I have many questions myself regarding my presence here, but perhaps I shall listen to what you both have to say first." And White Blossom looks at both of you and says, "I am merely here as a facilitator and interested party. Does anyone want any tea?" And he leans over and starts fussing with a teapot.
Yes, thank you. That's very kind.
And she nods as well and says, "Yes, thank you." And he just he'll go about doddering and setting that out, but he isn't. He's basically said, "I'm not really here to also talk."
Now, I'm trying to remember, what have I called her in past when I've been in her presence? I don't know if I've ever said her name to her directly.
I think you've called her.
I feel
you've called her Narakis, right?
I feel like I would call her Narakis, yeah.
I don't know if it was Miss Narakis or what you said.
Mistress of the Southern Winds.
Um,
Lay waster to the wastes of, Lay.
I think I would just go with Narakis then. Nursing my newly poured tea. Narakis, you recall our last meeting. I thought follow-up was appropriate.
She smiles, sips her tea, nods politely to White Blossom in almost like a silent thank you. Kind of holds it under her chin and says, "Please, Emma-O. Lyko." She lets that hang, waiting to see if you're "No, it's Quint, mate," or...
No, he's not going to take offense. MO then. But truthfully, I think you probably know a great deal of what transpired anyway. Would you like me to go over it? Or any sort of gestures as if to indicate, perhaps there are other more interesting matters?
She says, "Please, you have my full attention."
As you recall, when we made the crossing through that gateway, you provided me with a device, sensor of sorts.
She nods.
The device was quite useless on the other side. Couldn't take any readings. I don't mean the readings were lacking. It's like there was nothing to detect. And the space that we found ourselves in was more or less what I would have expected and what I think you were expecting. It was clearly perhaps not the same ship, but it was clearly some sort of.
Yes.
I mean, it was.
She
right,
like
it
she
was the
leans.
Eoxian, right? But
She
it was
leans
like
in. Yeah, it definitely was like in the Oxian lab you were in
I took it as like it was her vessel.
on Brahmasethes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could easily believe that. Yeah, 100%.
Just that her vessel was no longer there, but a doorway to it was. You know?
Yeah, you could easily believe that. Yeah, completely. Nothing
So I
would
think
say
that's
otherwise.
what Lyko say. Like I took it that it was with that we, the place we found ourselves in was within the downed vessel, which had since been repaired and left.
She says, yes, I'm sure we're all very impressed with the Bone Sage capabilities. She sips her tea, like not making eye contact with you, like just kind of like shut eyes as she's sipping it, and she opens her eyes and looks at you again and says, I would not say that my sensor failed. I think it did exactly what I needed it to do.
Which was to track me.
She just smiles and she says, no, the very fact that you attempted to utilize it lets me know that you're at least somewhat trustworthy.
Somewhat trustworthy is, yeah, perhaps accurate.
She laughs and she says, I will never trust a man that denies himself my company.
Perhaps I should ask then, board the camp before the storm?
Yep, that's it, yep.
Aboard the camp before the storm, you would have spoken to me. I'm assuming there was something in particular on your mind.
She blinks and smiles again, and she says, perhaps there was. But you seem to have something on your mind at the moment. Otherwise I would not have been summoned here quite so importantly.
Several things. And truthfully, that is quite possibly connected to them.
Where is your friend?
Which friend?
She laughs and says, which one do you think I mean? The one that escaped the calm before the storm.
If I told you where he was, that probably would defeat the point of having smuggled him off Stuart vessel.
She nods, but maintains eye contact, just like tilts her head, like,
I'm inclined to imagine that you could probably find him quite easily if you set your mind to it, which suggests to me that you have other priorities.
She just again, big wide grin on her face, but like her lips haven't parted, and she just says, I am pleased you think so highly of me.
I have an idea of how wide your reach is. Why does he concern you?
He is a matter of interest to me, personally. Why does he concern?
What he is. Sorry.
Yeah, she'll say, why does he concern you?
Yeah. Okay. If she says that, then Lyko sort of maybe almost squint slightly at her for a second, and say you know what he is, correct?
I know what he is not. To be more accurate.
That's a roundabout way to. You know what? I would like to make a roll, Ryan.
Okay. Oh my god, a roll
And
session?
I want to
What's
sense
this about?
motive to see if. Right? Before I give anything away, I want to sense motive and just check that what she's saying there is that she knows, like, he's not of this world, or that he's not weird, aka
Okay,
Next 5, you know?
Okay. Mhm.
Well, formerly, FKA Next 5, right? I want to sense that she's meaning what I think she is meaning by that, essentially.
Okay.
It's a 40, which isn't very good for me. Why are you pressing diplomacy?
Yeah, Nico, you're just jumping in, crash landing with all of the power of
I was
diplomacy.
muted. I was muted. It says I'm rolling as well, Ryan, because I like to feel like I've done something. So
Well, you diplomacy the 44 out of that.
yeah, damn right, man.
Just
I
mindless,
did the
just
diplomacy, lad.
monologuing to Lyko while he's in this meeting, just really obnoxiously.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, you were muted,
It would have
but we got
been
context
a
for
lot
it now.
more. It would be a lot more impactful if I wasn't muted, but oh well.
That's okay, we still got it, it's still fine. So yeah, your 40 cents motive, yeah, you're pretty guaranteed, like, your hunch is, you feel like pretty solid about it, right? About how it's likely she knows he's not from this universe, right? He's not what he appears to be, which would be native.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it then, because I don't think I'm giving away
Mhm.
any extra information by doing so. Not, no, I'll say something like, he's not of here.
And she just nods. And what concerns do you have with someone not native to here?
Well, he's quite recognizable, so I think you can probably hazard a guess who he claims he is.
And she just sips her tea and stares at you.
He is apparently, and what he said, it seems. I don't see any reason particular to disbelieve him aside from how strange it is that he is the counterpart to one of my colleagues that in his world took a somewhat different path. I'm informed there was a counterpart of myself who was also similar but different in important ways. So
She sets her cup down and looks at you and like clasps her hands and just kind of smiles. Very like uncomfortably pleasantly, right? She's got a definitely, sense of she's very at ease here herself. Or at least is doing her best to project that. And she like slowly just shakes her head and she says, "It seems like you have been misled by him."
I raise an eyebrow slightly.
If you tell me his location and offer me no resistance in retrieving him, I will tell you his identity.
So,
Player agency
friends?
moment, yep, on his go.
what do I do?
I mean, we're just
Just
about
give
to
him up.
invite like our Gilas into our doorstep, so we might as well invite her in for the party as well, right?
Well, to be
Fuck.
fair, you were
Get
gonna.
everyone there.
Yous
You
were
can
gonna
say, I don't know
drive
where
to
he is, but I
Traxxas
know where he's
anyway.
going to be.
Yeah.
You're right. Oh God.
We could guise it, like we could just come like, oh, we're coming to try access, yeah, we're coming to give you a query.
I could
Miss-
say, quite
Miss MO.
honestly, right, if we're doing that plan, I mean, I'm not going to tell her we're bringing him to her, because obviously that would be a lie, but I could just tell her bringing him here.
Like, I don't see why not.
But then
Do it.
you're gonna need to also say if you're gonna offer resistance or not, right? So and she is gonna insight check you, buddy.
We're not going to offer any resistance.
gonna
Our Gilas
mentally
are going
I will mentally,
That is technically putting resistance in the way.
right. In universe, then Lyko will sort of look up for a second, like as if just like putting on a show of being in thought, and think, I'm speaking with her now. She says Query has lied about his identity. She wants to know his location, and she wants us not to stop her from getting it.
Can she give us any details on who he is?
I mean, sounds like that's the price.
Uh,
How does she
Good
know
day.
this?
What was that, Alex? Sorry, I never heard that.
But how does she know this?
Don't know. She could be completely full of shit, but
Oh, so I'll give you that from your sense motive of 40, right? She doesn't really seem like she needs to lie here.
yeah. Captain, if he has deceived us,
I'm happy to hand a little shit out here if he has deceived us, but I
it's
mean,
probably preferable that he go to her than Ida if he has lied to us. For his
not too
sake.
sure about that, but
I just say, like, even
That's
when
a
she
point.
thought he was just like holding his tongue, she was gonna brain slap him. Like, if she thinks he's actively lying, God knows what she'll do.
And Lyko got his leg broke,
Probably
so
help
that's
her,
a worse
to be
person
honest,
to leave him with.
worst part about it as well is I'll probably be like holding him back, like holding him down while she does it, like so. So
Captain, I can't stall for very long.
I mean, we're going that direction anyway, and I mean, if he's lying to us, I don't mind turning a little shit out of him. Oh, huh. It's a she.
Okay, I'm gonna take the chance then. Yeah, and he looks down, but levels out his eyes again at her and says, "He's with us. We're bringing him here. They won't fight you."
She smiles. Glad your companions agree.
Sorry, I didn't catch that last bit.
She said, I'm glad your companions agree."
Do I need to sense motive again to know if she knew that I was communicating with him there?
Not at all. You can just know that she knew. Yeah. Whether or not she
Yeah,
knew
so
what was
he-
said, just that you were in contact is two different
Yeah.
things. Yeah. Mhm.
So he probably like chuckles a little bit. I know that he's been holding back on us. I'm taking your word for it that he's lying to us.
And she looks and she says, I
So-
have zero reason to lie to you. You are, and I mean no offense by this, but you are dust to me.
Rude.
Do we have an agreement?
I put my hand forward to shake.
And she puts in your hand, like a pad projector thing, that brings up the contract.
For an organization that's so interested in illicit activities, you sure do like contracts.
She smiles.
May I have a second to...
Please! And she very overtly, like a host gesturing, please take your time.
Yeah. Okay, so Lyko has a sort of cursory glance through it just to make sure it's nothing too
She
untoward.
actually gets up and serves the tea to the three of you as well in this scene.
Lyko mentally notes that's weird.
No, she's
She
making
feels
up.
very at home here, clearly.
Yeah, that's because all homes are her home in her eyes, probably. Right? It's like she fucking owns them, like all. She could own them all if she wanted.
So, yeah. What do I find the document to be? Is it pretty legitimate?
It's legit just an agreement that, obviously, if you went out with the terms of the agreement, she could just sue your ass. That's it. It's just an agreement. There's literally what you said. There's nothing hidden in it. It's just you have agreed to, deliver it, almost like a bounty contract. Like you have agreed
Yeah.
to, like, ensure this
I
person.
think that probably amuses him quite, not a huge amount, but he definitely gets a bit of amusement out of like having just said like for basically a bunch of like criminals, you're quite fond of like contract law, and then like she has just done like the most generic contract conceivable. So like yeah, he's probably quite amused by like this. It's like it was either going to be that or an NDA, I suppose. So yeah, and he'll sign off on it.
Yeah, and like as like she slides forward your cup with tea, she'll take away the drive that projects the thing, and she says,
Yep.
She like lifts her tea to both of you, and takes a sip, and says, and this is the last line of dialogue of the session, obviously.
Okay.
He is not the counterpart to your colleague on board. He is in fact the counterpart to a former employee, of mine,
Oh no.
Edgar Wesland.
Oh,
And that's where we
he
end.
said that he was like Edgar. No, son of a bitch.
So,
Oh, what a dick.
Of course, if he's like Edgar, he could make himself look like that. Son of a bitch.
Oh.
And I did describe him as having like, platinum hair, like short platinum hair with these
Yeah.
platinum stubble. Yep. Yep. Yeah.
The bastard.
And there was Edgar Wesland's like art. If it's gonna open, there we go.
Oh yeah, no, this sort of the silver fox look. Yeah.
It's just that obviously this like query's like purple skinned instead. Yeah. So names, suggestions for the title.
Meet the new boss. I think I suggest that quite often. I've definitely done it before.
Okay, so let's summarize what happened. You had your powwow with Matva, and you were friends with Matva. And then
Can't we just speak friend to friend?
Friend to friend works.
Friend to
Yeah,
friend.
that's right.
Yeah. Not bad. Any other suggestions?
That's not where I meant to put that. Fuck. Actually, it's a terrible suggestion. It's enough.
We had obviously the bringing Matva up to speed. We had the suggested
You know
plan
what?
of just taking the egg to him. Like, yeah.
I like stupid broken triangle.
Stupid broken triangle.
Unironically, I like it a lot.
It works. Almost stupid broken triangle almost works. Basically, it's just a big stupid broken escalation. Oh, that's actually too good as well, man.
It's terrible, but I love it.
I
do like
think it's
stupid
going to be
broken triangle.
escalation. I think because that's exactly what it is, man. We're escalating the war,
This is
right?
shameful.
Right, yeah,
But yeah,
it's so good.
to secure peace is to prepare eggs.
Yep.
Eggs Benedict Arnold. That's a Family Guy one.
Scrambled eggs.
Scramble for the eggs.
Oh, that's
Scramble.
Oh god. B.
Nah, that'll be like next session, if like whatever session or this kicks off, right? But scramble for the eggs.
Only do all out solar system war. Yep. Right. Any other votes and or suggestions about Alex and or Callum? I
I
only
don't
said
know if
Zig or Callum.
escalation should win, right? Because I feel like it should be saved for like another session where it's going to actually be just amazing, like too
No,
good.
No, because that's probably going to be like something like Eggsplosion or Eggsplanation or something like that, right? All in one basket. It's not bad. hmm
Before they hatch, have we done that before?
Not yet. Nope. Not done that either.
Don't think that one works for this session though, but it is another
Mhm.
egg-related one.
One.
One basket, yeah.
It's alright, yeah, it's pretty good. That might be a good one for next time though, if that's what happens.
Hatching a plan.
Hatching a plan's great.
Action of black.
It's actually great.
Actually, yeah. I can't
Uh-huh.
not vote for stupid broken triangle, but hatching a
Uh-huh.
plan is very good.
I do like Stupid Broken Triangle too, I'm not gonna lie, it's so good.
It just seems like it really sums up you know-
You writing Hatching a Plan, Nico?
our life.
Because that's probably the most accurate, right? So,
There was a lot of quotation mark friend to friend as well.
Hmm.
And
Right, well,
there
you
was-
haven't fought her
and we're
yet.
planning on some escalation, but there's no been any escalation yet.
I feel like I'm also going to vote for Hatching a Plan. I think that's a really good one. There we go. Do you want to fix it so the capitals are in the right places for me, Nico? Thank you. Thank you. So, right, let's have a look at the goals page.
Ah, yes.
Like that? Like that? What do you mean? Like that?
Can I get the A capitalised as well?
Oh, right. Okay.
So, general goals. Use CC to gain dragon info related to new station. Nope. Convince suitable person to retrieve the Daza egg. He's almost had it.
I think we've pretty much ditched that.
Yeah.
Ah, but we may have convinced them to do it later.
We've technically
That's-
convinced them to do
yeah.
it, actually, because she did offer, but we just said
Yeah.
not for now. Like,
To do it if necessary at a later date, but yeah, that's fair.
as well, no, she's actually suitable, though. She doesn't. Is she suitable? I mean,
She seemed confident, right?
She
yeah,
said
still-
she is.
Yeah,
Would she ever not seem confident though? Like,
it's true. Like, we're talking about Veskia.
Mhm.
It's not my fault if she.
so that could be ongoing, I think. Yeah, if you just definitively tell her, no, actually, maybe you should. Yeah,
Yeah.
not just pussyfoot around it. As a well, if we die, you should do it. It doesn't really help you guys in the goal front.
I guess put it to the side now then, I guess, for now.
Well, no, leave it just now, because if you haven't got a replacement in mind yet, there's no point, right? Because you're still in the room with her currently. So, you could just confirm that and take it off your list. Conclude the Kevalaria case.
Large parts towards it. We still don't know who set off the bomb, though, right? Or, like, sabotaged the mission. But we've definitely got we've ticked off a box in a puzzle.
Yeah, I think
Boxes.
we are edging closer again, but the Kevalaria remains difficult because I think we definitely need to go back and do some steward stuff to actually complete that. So I'm starting to think it might actually not get solved completely.
Mm.
My guess is probably the one that set off the bombs. I mean, it's probably easy to suspect that it's Demagesh that set off the bombs to fuck your Martha, right? It's no.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It would make sense.
Why
Too much
would
said. I don't trust.
why would Emma O fucking do it, for instance, and shit, who's the only other person that would know about them? Like, what the fuck would Emma O want to blow up her own weapon for that she just created and got paid for doing? It just doesn't
Why
make
would
sense. It's
Matva
probably-
do that to
probably-
the stewards when she was with Babak on his
I
ship?
believe that it was a fucking oopsie.
Mm.
Like,
Okay.
I can believe that it was an oopsie.
Okay, we've also got retrieve info on Daza and the repercussions of the eggs removal. I haven't done that yet, but mostly it's bad, likely, right?
Mhm.
And then create multi-destinational null space chambers for the crew.
Didn't
I mean, to be fair, we could say, because obviously you didn't really interject too much with the head speak, so it's something you could have been doing throughout that, I don't mind. Yeah, while staring at the vest. You know, just there
Oh,
tinkering with
weirdly,
stuff.
yeah.
I've been them the fucking just to stare down that whole session. Just not
See, if they
blinking
hadn't
once.
been Obsidian Star operatives, I would totally have had a vest come up to you and be like, cool legs. But couldn't get around the Obsidian Stair, like they just wouldn't do that. Like, if it was a random Vesk and like part of the Viscarium, yeah, but it's like that
I
looks.
think my favorite part about it is that for the level up time that we had, I picked up a scout bot and improved scout bot.
Nice.
So if I'd had 10 minutes, I could make a little spy drone,
Nice.
go around the corner and spy on them. But that didn't seem.
No, it's not the way, right? You just go stand there and stare at them. Yeah.
Just fucking
Really?
using the spell down, like.
It's good.
I like to think this is when I've had the brilliant idea of, wait, I could get a drone to do this.
Yeah, I don't have to be here. I could be doing other things. The drone could be here. Yeah.
Or
Just
yes,
like
one set of hands is making a scout bot and then place down and stare at them.
see, to be honest with you, well, Vesk, they probably felt like if they stood still enough, you wouldn't be able to see them. Like he runs off mouse and sensor, boys. Don't
I mean,
move.
Maybe, right? Maybe they thought you were the scout bot. So yeah. Okay, so what goals are staying? What goals are getting reworked? Obviously, clear Matva's name. How do you feel about that?
I mean, she kind of admitted to basically being the cause of it. It's not really clearing of the name,
No.
but I know what happened. Like,
But clearing her name doesn't mean to say her name was clear. Clear Matva's name could be you putting it on Demogesh.
yeah.
Might be illegal.
I mean, I do put that case on Demogesh because I'm pretty sure he was the one that done it at this point. I'm pretty much convinced that it was him at this point.
I think I'm going to put Cleveland to the side for now.
Okay.
I just think we have to.
Okay. You got a replacement in mind?
I was
Probably.
thinking something with Emma O, but I'm not sure what. I mean, I am open to putting it back there, but I thought we could sort of workshop something quickly, Emma O related, because clearly there might not be another chance to do anything there.
True that. Okay. Let's quickly go through personal goals, right? So if you're not keeping that goal in, it's alright, get rid of it, come up with a new one. Same with you, like I'm assuming you're keeping your personal goal still.
I don't know if I ever. How, to be fair, if I'm getting rid of the Conclude the Kefalari case, then that one probably leads into Conclude the Kefalari. But on the other hand, if I do my personal goal is kind of like a way step to the Conclude the Kefalari case, so I don't necessarily know that I need to get rid. Yeah, I'm going to keep that for the time being. Yeah.
Because if you complete that, say you complete that next week somehow, then you could then just slot in Conclude case.
Yeah. So how about I have something like find out Emma O's interest. Well, no, maybe that's a bit too easy because she could probably just tell me.
Conversations don't make good goals. Yeah. Well, what was your thing? Was it find out her interest in? I'm assuming query.
Query. Yeah, because obviously I can see now sort of what it will be, but that doesn't mean we have the specifics. I'm guessing it's a self-preservation thing.
Could be. Maybe she just hates him in every universe.
Yeah. But also I think there's a possibility that she knows he's sort of coming for her. Anyone have any MO suggestions, or should I put it back?
I'm not sure.
What do you know about her, and what would you like to know about her, or what would you like to achieve with her or against her, right? Because Alice's suggestion is blow her up. We know that.
Yeah, and Lyko understands, but
I'm kind of all for blowing her up as well.
I think we need to know what the hell she's planning to do as best we can. Like, because presumably she doesn't have any more reason to want to see the universe blown up than we do.
It's a fair assumption, yeah, I think so.
So
I guess the one thing that she'd confirmed for us, though, right, is he's lying about who he was, but he's not lying about his story, or maybe.
Yeah, what she said definitely
Right.
seems to indicate, he is really from an alternate universe. He's just not the person from an alternate universe that you thought he was.
Mhm. I would like to know what she's up to. Find out MRO's plan.
With what?
Yeah, it's very vague, yeah.
Fuckery.
Again, that could just be like I was saying, what are you going to do with them?
What's your plan for
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird, I'm assuming you're keeping established cybernetics business at Soul Spines?
Yes.
Excellent. Zig?
Just one conversation away from being done.
Yep, 100% one conversation away from being done.
It's been that way for about 400 years, but...
Zig?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to Triaxis. I'm getting closer to one of the Droid Queens.
Well, the thing is, you'll need to get Thanaida to try and get Thingy's attention again, will you not? Argalas's attention. Unless you think you've got a way of doing it.
It works out. No, that's the only way.
It's apparently the only way now. That's how you did it before. It just felt like if you had a new plan, obviously try your new plan, but it does kind of sound like you're going to be putting the two queens on the same planet.
Yeah, which it's happening.
Famcomily reunion.
Yeah. Explosion. So are you keeping yours or are you changing it to something else? Zig.
Oh yeah, keeping it.
Okay, cool. We've still got this blank one that we need to fill with something. So what is your ideal outcome from next session, guys? What would you like to have done by next session?
Set up the bait for a glass probably would be a good idea, right? Get her to
So why
get
isn't
her
it all
to
just
Triaxis and set up the bait.
why isn't that just bait Urgalas to Triaxis?
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
That's good.
Perfect. There you go. Are we still focusing on CC and his dragon info and also the rest of these generals?
Is that how you spell Urgalas?
It's not, but it's fine. I'll fix it. Just missing that. It's Triaxis apparently. Triaxis.
Oh, us. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, it's German. Okay.
It's Ga. Urgalas.
Urgalas. Okay.
Yep. With a Ga.
It's a bit of no. It's Urgalas, not Urgalas.
It's not Glinda, it's Garlinda. With a Ga. Right, so you've got two Daza related ones here, and I feel like you've kind of abandoned Daza. Right? Like, the first one was convince suitable person to retreat Daza. If you tell Mantva definitively to do that, you can complete that goal. If the next one, it feels like you aren't bothering with that. That's my vibe.
I'll put it to the side, right, in case it ever comes up, which I highly doubt, right? But yeah, I guess we get rid of it, right?
What about the Mogesh related goal then? If you've got nothing else to do, or is it maybe are you going to try and go to Octurn with a certain individual? For some reason, I don't know why you would go, other than it's something you could do if you're distracting Urgalas.
Unless we think that whatever he's been up to is something that we could then go and sabotage.
Right.
What about if, how much the personnel on that ship would be off the ship, on fighters, yada yada, during a battle? I know it's a stupid question.
Ship?
The big merciless Blafty.
Well, it depends.
Yeah, it's probably fully stocked at the moment, right? Because there's no actual battle at the moment. Because remember, all the vests were free.
I'm trying to think how much the security would be compromised while the battle was going on.
But I mean, how would they battle him? Would it be with little ships, or would they just hit him with their biggest blast?
Probably think they would hit him with everything that they could, to be honest.
Okay, that makes sense.
Especially if he comes up the rear.
It depends how Zap Brannigan you think the Mogesh is. I just sent wave after wave of my precious Vesk at them.
I mean, but he doesn't get to fight his own battle if we're just bringing Demagesh right on top of him, right? So, like, maybe we just fucking fire everything at him just to get the fuck out of there, because he'd probably start running for the house straight away. Like,
Hard to say, right? It is hard to say that one. What was your thought process, though? So,
just to make sure that Demagesh fucking dies in this whole situation.
well, right. So let's think about it this way. Think more Obsidian Star tactics. Then why not tell Demogesh? By the way, it seems like somebody is trying to lure the Alibrian to Triaxis because of, I don't know, insert lie here. Perhaps if you deploy your troops, you could end this fight before it begins. Blah blah blah. You would be known as, like, savior of the system or whatever the fuck you want.
Savior of the universe,
right?
exact same fucking term that Matt said.
Oh no, because you're not really talking about the end of the universe really at that point, but you could wing it that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could just, like, totally mislead him if you wanted to try and make him pour his troops out of the ship.
A conqueror of the universe, that's what we'll call him, man.
It's not like he's gonna, like, just sit up and just walk down himself, is it? So I don't think anybody's under the impression that he's like a hands dirty kind of guy anymore.
I kind of always had a feeling he was that type of a leader. Sit on his chair and tell people what to do, sort of idea.
Math is just, like, jump straight into, like, fucking enemy bridges herself, full combat gear, like, yo, what's up? It's this shit, Yeah. So you could have a goal related to that situation if you wanted, yeah.
They definitely wouldn't mind them being definitely dead. The situation. That would be good. That'd be kind of nice.
Why is it I've just got this image now where it's just going to be Lyko fighting Emma O for some reason. It's going to be you fighting Demogesh. It's going to be, I don't know, like, Query versus Edgar versus Weird. Zig trying to roll eggs between all of the scenes. Sinaida fighting Lantaral. Like, just all over the different shots of Triaxis, is everything just goes to shit. It rewinds to everything's fine, going 5 minutes earlier. And you jump into the system. Oh dear. What we're thinking? Make sure Demogesh is dead. I would say have a hand in his death is a better one. Because I think make sure his dead's just like an autopsy. In a way. Or like a medical check above him.
The
I mean, maybe that's all we want, though. I just want to make sure he's dead, man. Like, if fucking Orgalas is the one that gets the kill shot, good on him, man.
Yeah, but it's it can't just be something that incidentally happens that has nothing to do with any of our actions.
Yeah, that's why I'm adding
We could
Could
try
be
a
like
coup. We could
you
try
them
a
in the
coup,
way
by
of
the way.
that particular bullet,
Right.
We could try a coup as well, right? We could just, like, kill him just before our glass starts up, comes, and then I'm basically the highest ranking officer on the ship, so I would be in command of it.
Yep.
Sure, that work. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, you are the, like, second highest rank on that ship, yes. So yeah.
But fuck! I got the fucking Demagesh had a heart attack, lads. Just he was scared of Orgalas when he showed up on the commander now. So
I ain't afraid of no ghost. Yeah. Okay. Any other goals changing, or is that our new lot? Because you don't have one yet, Zora. Aim to get a goal for Zora, a personal goal.
kill
or
Demagesh
another-
personally.
I was gonna say, like, well, have a personal and Demogesh's death could be your personal goal.
Yeah.
Move that up, yeah.
Could be. That leaves us with it.
Just makes like a wider scope goal, yeah. Anything in the pile of ideas. So, who is Zig and what does he do? No, gather actual info in Demogesh. Get Ivan data from Aspis. That feels like so long ago. That led to a diner blowing up. Dignified barrel of Escate, return body, Church of Abadar.
Lol.
Checking in with Escate could be something. Godslayer, kill Hermione. What about something with the Black Dragon? You know he has an egg. Maybe bringing Urgalas, or had, an egg. Maybe you should talk to him about it.
It's probably a good idea. It might be a good. Well, I mean, his whole planet's about to get fucking bombarded, so we're actually going to
You say about to. You're about to make it. Get.
Potentially. Listen, this we can't be started blaming people for things that haven't happened yet.
Tell that to Zig.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Learn what Nick's Prime's role was in exploits. Hook up with new junk rats. Make body part company with Buglord. Find query a new role in the crew. Find a way to navigate Negative's own place and secure egg there. Hopefully get it back.
How about like
Yes.
like that.
Okay, so betray the shit out of that little snake fuck query. Okay. I feel like you've already done that.
But I mean, like, actually hand them over. Like, assuming she's not lying, she might be lying to me right now, although she has no particular reason to. She could just say, "Yes, he is, but I need him, so hand him over." Like,
I'm gonna roll this back though and be like, should we even be doing this at this point though, right? Because I mean, he lied, right? But he didn't lie about too much. He probably said that he was fucking weird just so we didn't tell him to fuck off because none like Hoffies don't like Edgar at that point. Like, because if he was like, "Oh, I'm Edgar from another universe," I'd probably just be like, "Fuck off."
It's a criminal offence.
we've
True.
well, I've made this fucking deal, so you know.
I mean, you have, but I mean, I thought there was like I thought that was just to get the info right.
I signed a contract, and if he has deceived us, he's almost certainly holding out. We have good reason to believe he's holding out information, right? If he's also lying to us, I think it's probably there's a very good chance that what he's holding back isn't just minor stuff. Like, we might have been wrong to not let Thanaida do her thing.
I mean, I said that. I mean, I
Well,
was
is that
for
maybe
it.
is that maybe the goal you want to do then? Is risk lobotomizing him before giving him over?
He's probably going to get
an idea.
lobotomized anyway. It's probably just about to get lobotomized regardless.
So you're opposing well, it can be done by your former friends or potentially an enemy. Who would you like to lobotomize you?
No, not former
have
friends,
both.
your friends,
Okay,
query.
okay.
Your friends.
Get all the information we need out of him via Thanaida, and also hand over to MO, giving everyone all the satisfaction. That
I
they
like that. I like that strategy.
Okay, so do you want to reword the betray the shit out of him one and we'll put in
I mean, if someone has better words, sure. How about
Suck a wee shit's brain, wee shit heat's brains dry.
gain queries knowledge.
although like if you're looking at this from like a player's meta point of view, like given what Emma always said now, it does kind of put into context a little bit more why when he saw her in that interrogation room. Why he reacted so violently, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of really does.
No, it does make sense why he would lie about who he is since he's Edgar. I mean, in my brain anyway, I wouldn't tell Zora who I was.
That's
if I was
fair.
Edgar.
Are we happy with that goal then? So gain queries knowledge of the other universe before handing over. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good to me. Any other goal chat to discuss? Going once? Going twice? No. Cool.
No.
Yep. Okay, so wrap up chat time. Alex, weird. How do you feel not being potentially an alternate universe person?
Well, it's nice to not be attached to that incompetent asshat.
Yeah, that was absolutely. It makes so much more sense now. To be honest with you, life just makes so much more sense.
Yep.
I told you it should at the end, right? I told you it should.
It's interesting that he chose you. Was it just because you were at the data sphere? Was that just happenstance, or
You just copied me.
Well, remember what happened at the Infosphere? when he met him. Next 5 met Query as Zig was pulled forward a year by Edgar. In that weird liminal space.
So did Edgar's fruition, like, did that somehow connect? Is Edgar connected to Alter Universe Edgar? Oh god, I hope not. That seems like a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Any other thoughts there? Weird.
Nothing else really. It's fun to hear the captain getting his diplomat on.
Mm-hmm.
And,
That's 44 Diplomat, yep.
Yep, and cutting some nasty deals as well with one of the villains of the campaign for both him and Leica.
Yep.
I
True.
don't get any blame for any of that.
Yep. Remarkably well behaved. You were this session.
I was restrained and enjoying myself.
Nice.
It's nice to be in a passenger seat sometimes.
So Weird's the kinkiest of the group we've established.
Wow.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Zig.
I really loved the first sort of hour and 45 minutes.
Me too, to be fair.
Thought that was good. Or I will think it's really good when I
Give the game.
what little of before I arrived I heard, I really enjoyed as well. It was nice just kind of getting the bobs of Matva's side of everything, and nice. It's nice that the captain is doing his diplomacy role rather well. I assume, seeing as we didn't end up fighting over anything. So
one of my first bits of diplomacy in a while has been to start a war.
Yeah. Yep.
It's that you rolled very well in Vesk diplomacy.
Yes.
All roads lead to
after
war.
all, a Vesk diplomat. So yeah. And yeah, it's always good having Lyco do Lyco thing. I'm very kind of interested to see if this plan goes and how it goes. Yeah, there might be a lot of reading my character sheet needed.
God, imagine.
To see how we're gonna get out of this one, but we'll see.
Yeah. This feels a bit like that moment where is it Guardians 1 where Drax just goes and phones Ronan. It's just like,
yeah,
hi, we're here. Like, it kind of feels like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
I was thinking, if worst case scenario, Alice is on somewhere else, just anywhere else.
Okay.
As long as we kind of stick together-ish, I can just jump us to wherever Alice is.
Okay.
Yom.
Or Sindael.
Or Sindael, yeah. I suppose he's part of the link, so yeah.
I mean, that could be a quick way to get to.
Yeah, true. He might be still in the Merciless Blade as well, actually, if he's there. That's where he was, like, chilling. Yeah. Anything else, bud?
That was it. Thank you for running. It was really fun.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad you were able to join us in the end. That was good.
Yes, it was one of those ones where I was like, I don't want to.
Definitely helped Zora out quite a bit there because it was like, good. Zig, explain everything, please. What?
Yes. I was like, how the fuck am I going to explain all this malarkey? And I was like, oh, fuck's sake. Yes.
It was just one of those things that my brain didn't have time to warm up to being like Zig. And I was like, oh, heck, here we go.
You did fine.
Yeah, no, you did well. Definitely. Did well. Even to the part where like, I think I've lost it. No, I've lost it. I'm like, it's okay. It's session 101 of this nonsense. It's fine if you've lost it by now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
fairness, Zig's personality is flying by the seat. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I do love it when you sit and think, is my backup plan time travel? Is that the backup plan? So yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
It might be the primary plan actually, but it's a bit inconsistent right now. So
Fair.
we're on the backup plan.
Yeah. See if this works first. And then use the primary plan, which should be better. In theory.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Ah.
Oh dear. Yeah, that was like
No, it was really fun.
Yeah,
It's
good.
obviously always nice to chat. So.
yes. And Lyko.
And Lyko indeed. Yeah, I did. I am very glad that we had a Zig in time so that the captain didn't have to explain that, because
It
I
wouldn't
can
have went
only
well.
imagine it would have gone phenomenally. But
It
I'm
wouldn't
glad
have
it
went
didn't
well.
have.
I'd have got there
no,
in the
so-
end, but like I wouldn't have got the feeling
Mhm.
across, you know. Like, I wouldn't have
You
got
also
that
wouldn't have
feeling.
been able to like upload into her brain
Exactly.
the experiences that made it more plausible. So
Mhm.
I feel like that was important. But yeah, that was cool. Good to be on, and
Mhm.
I think we had a slightly more cap heavy session this time, which is nice because like it was definitely very Lyco dominated the previous one. Again, lot of parallelograms, a lot of
Stupid broken triangles. Yep.
yeah, broken triangle. No, there obviously there's a sort of
They're
sense
stupid.
of reflection in me having a meeting with potentially one of the big villains of the campaign, as was the captain.
Mhm.
Although again, we're definitely a lot less convinced that Matva's the baddie. She's clearly a bad guy, right?
Yeah, she's a later baddie.
Yeah, she's
as I
not one of the
suspected.
She's not one of the campaign villains. She's one of the assholes that we still expect to exist after we kill the big bad boss.
Yeah,
Um,
like the DLC.
Yeah.
So like, you don't expect to take out like every scumbag in the universe before you fight the final boss, right? It's that sort of like structurally you're gonna come across problems along the way that you won't have time to or opportunity to solve. And like she's clearly a shady character. She'd have to be for her job. She admits as much, but she's not really, or she doesn't seem to be the one who is the problem. It seems to be her rival that is. But of course, if she's good at her job, maybe there's a reason it seems that way. Anyway, for the time being, she's not the pressing problem. Whereas the one that I was speaking to is someone who we have been very convinced is the enemy.
Mhm.
But we don't know what her game is beyond that she is clearly evil because she runs a massive criminal arms dealing company that makes horrific bioweapons and has no ethics. So yeah, she's evil.
Yeah.
But how much of a problem is she for the universe right now compared to, say, someone who's accidentally going to detonate it?
Mhm.
And I don't mean Zig.
Yet.
Yeah. So yeah, like, is she actually our enemy? She's definitely not a good guy.
Mhm.
She's very much walking around on evil, spindly legs, wearing all black, and calling people dust. So if we were trying to come across as a good guy, she would have failed terribly. But yeah, so it was also fun getting to do a little bit of skullduggery. Not too much, but yeah, taking that moment as well. The link is very nice
Mhm.
because it allows me to be off doing my thing.
It is actually so
while
nice.
still
I
having
like it
contact.
as a GM. I think it's a great tool because it does mean you can enjoy the system, like the solar system, not the actual
Yes.
real system.
I
Fuck
agree.
that.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. It also gives us like an excellent excuse to come back. Like, yes, we're in contact with our colleague. He's on Akaton. He needs us to return. So, built-in excuse, right? Easy comms means constant communication means that you can coordinate better. That's just great. And it helped me make that decision because Lyko would have had trouble making that on his own. So I was
That's
pleased
good.
with that. I liked that we got to well, we got through another session without doing anything particularly insane, and I think we made some sensible steps towards like a final sort of culmination of everything. Like, we have been flying by the seat of our pants, but there's so much going on that any one moment that you're pulled in all these different directions. And I think that things have finally been starting to gravitate towards one area, and now we've determined to give that a little push so that the gravitation continues to that area. So yeah, I definitely think like there's a sense of it's the biggin. The biggin is coming soon, and we're sort of very quickly hurtling towards a final confrontation of sorts, which I'm very eager for. Very eager to see who comes out where, where the dice fall, or whatever an appropriate saying is. I don't think that's a real one. I think I just made that up. I'm not sure. Hard to say.
That's fine.
But yeah, like, so obviously we were slightly later starting today, but that's pretty normal for us.
Yeah.
So what else did it? What you know? It was a little bit less, weird, but you did get to appropriately enough be weird. Interesting revelation. Assuming she's not lying, but again, if she's gonna tell a lie, she's picked a damn plausible one.
It does
Because
seem
we
unlikely.
did
Yeah.
comment how much he seemed like Edgar,
Yep.
and now I'm left with an interesting dilemma for next session, which is how much do I tell her about Edgar?
Yeah. By the way, we may or may not have dropped him off with a bomb headed for your office.
Don't do that. It's still beneficial if they both blow themselves up. That's two evil bad guys we don't need to deal with in later DLC.
Yeah, but don't you want them for the big fight with not Demogish, Orgalas?
Because we know Edgar just wants to take your fucking Aspis and carry on our work, essentially, right? He's an endearing fellow. He's still a bad guy. Like, he's still a bad guy. I mean, just to me anyway, he's still a bad guy.
Test the desk. War hero. Yeah.
Savior of the universe. I will have you know.
Soon to be savior of the universe. Right now, you're still called the Abyss. Anything else, Colin?
No. I think I've rambled on enough, and my brain, what little of it there is left, is beginning to say no more. Okay. So
that's fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for running, and it was good to be on for a good old fashioned proper session.
Yeah. Last but not least, our fearless Captain Admiral, Zora.
That is soon to be the Abyss, Savior of the Universe. Thank you very much. It's a really long title. That makes me the top of the titles.
Yeah.
The highest of titles.
The highest of titles. You're not wrong there.
First of the titles. Fucking hell.
That would be Alice's desk name, obviously. First of the titles.
Fucking first of the titles for Alison. Alison?
Oof.
Don't have no idea. Alice.
Try that about a kid. His name, right?
Wow.
That was fun. Matt, that was a delight. When we started talking friend to friend, that was nice. That was nice. Never hubris.
To be fair, though, she has always been friendly to you, though, right? Like,
yeah,
like you and her have like a good working relationship. Like, my design for her was Picard, right? Like that vibe of he is professional and will chew you out if you're being unprofessional, but will be friendly and professional to you depending on your relationship. And you
must have got chewed up all the time. For being unprofessional.
But yeah, that like kind of Riker Picard friendship, right? Where it's like, they're not technically like super besties, but they're, good working relationship, yeah.
No, it was good. I'm loving what idea to start the war. Just accelerate it.
Yeah, see how it plays
I
out.
still don't know where we're going to go for it for that point.
Yeah, it's maybe something I just want to spend some time thinking about. Is
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I mean, as much as I want to kill Demigesh, he's probably a good tool to use in taking out our glass as well, right? So
You might also want to decide that if you want to like maybe get more equipment and stuff, you might want to phone Bob.
Yep.
well, I mean, we're about to go. We're basically on a trip to Akaton that we can't really stop.
We know a
If it-
couple of arms dealers in Akaton.
We can,
Mm.
yeah.
She did stop you though, like you were pulled out adrift, remember?
Oh, I'll probably just try
Yeah,
to
so
go.
you would literally need to like plot your course from where you are to go. But you could go there or get him to maybe he has deals there. You've also like you know a bunch of things, like you do know a bunch of arms dealers in Akaton, but you know a bunch of people all over the place, right? I mean technically a black dragon owes you a favour in some weird way. Maybe not. Right?
It's true. It's very true. Yeah, I mean, we can figure out where to go, I suppose. I mean, Akaton, whatever, isn't probably a bad shout. Like, it's maybe even a good idea to maybe warn Mr. Babak that we're about to start a fucking war. But pretty much you gain up your badge, though, saying it, like.
Yeah. I don't know how. I generally don't know what Babak will say depending on what you say to him. Like, if that even came up, I don't know what would happen there. He is a
I mean, at
space
the end
cop.
of the day, he probably feels like the Pat World to kick up the arse as well, right? Like, because that's what I feel like. I mean, they did lose their fleet, right? Yes. But surely that's not all there is in the Pat World, right?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe it's worth checking everything then at some point, right? Because I know that's one of Lyco's goals, is basically checking on.
Yeah, it'd certainly be something I'd be interested in doing.
Never know, it might even help. Who knows?
Because if I'm going to do this, it might be a good idea just to get every cunt in the one fucking spot and just juke it out, man.
It's not the worst plan I've heard. Yeah. Because it sounds like a plan, at least. You know, was it Nero shouts, just fire everything? Yeah. Yeah, and as I said, like, you know, right? The reason why I was going to bring up, because I mentioned this earlier about did you let her know about, like, Sindel and all that nonsense about that. We know that Sindel explained that he is no longer using Bone Sage abilities. He's using different abilities now. Right? So, if he's not drinking from that cup, what cup is he drinking from? I'm pretty sure he gave you a heavy implication he's drinking from the Librian
Yes,
cup.
you did.
Which means that would divide the power that they've got.
Hope.
What's to say you couldn't divide it more? Right?
Yeah. We need to make more of me.
Or at least revert some of the other bone sages, maybe. Good luck with that. That's just want to put that, like, I think you're smart enough to know, like, with everything that's been on, that's probably something worth just reminding you of too. Could be something. Matt was obviously oblivious to all this though, because that was withheld, but that's fine. It's still something you could have rattling around your brains. So yeah, always a possibility. Anything else, bud?
I told you we should have sucked fucking Query's brains out.
Snyder was all for
You
it,
were
buddy.
right.
No,
You were
it's
right.
morally wrong. It's fucking.
Look at you,
We're
take
not
it.
over.
Wow. There's such a thing as being a bad winner. You know that, right?
God damn it. I knew he was fucking a wee lying shite heat, man. For the very beginning. He was useless wee lying shite heat.
Oh dear.
His head got to top off. That just means that Edgar slapped me in the face and that makes it even worse.
Oh dear. So good. Anything else, bud?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Thank you all for playing. That was actually a lot of fun for me because there was a nice bit of exposition in there, which was good. Also, it definitely felt like we took a massive step towards the finale, which I liked. That felt really fun for me. So yeah, I'm quite excited to see what the fuck I have to plan for next time, because I don't know how dramatic it needs to be yet, which is exciting. So yeah, let's see how that turns out. Thank you for playing, thank you everybody who watched, and goodbye everybody.
Goodbye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Goodbye.